Way up north. North to Alaska. Way up north. North to Alaska. North.
All right, y'all. Welcome back for the third episode of the Far North podcast. Sitting here, we got quite a special guest today. We got Mr. Ted Kim in the house. What's going on, Ted?
Hello. Hello.
All right, well, we'll get right into some good old-fashioned skateboard talk here, man. So, obviously, you've been around on the skateboard scene for quite a while now up here. So, I don't know, man. Pretty much, we'll start from square one. Like, I mean, how'd you get into skateboarding?
Okay, so I was 9 years old, and I think my brother, I don't know where it came from, but he showed up one day with, we had like a banana board. It was one of those really
little plastic ones.
Yeah, just one of those classic like plastic,
for
hard plastic.
For slalom.
Yeah, and I could be wrong with all this because it was so long ago, but I don't know. It definitely wasn't a banana board that got me stoked on skating. I think it was just a point where my mom was like, okay, I'm gonna go buy you a skateboard. And at the time, it was there was only one place to get skateboards, and it was G&B.
Yeah.
And
rest in peace, G&B.
Sure.
That was tight.
And so G&B used to be where I think now it's a Cache, Alaska, next to Tommy's Burger Stop on Spinard. And it was that building, and I think it was painted pink. And downstairs was the Look, and so it was lingerie, and it was really small. Like the Look now is huge, or big.
Yeah.
I don't remember so many it was just lingerie, and I just remember my mom took me there, and you have to walk through the Look before you go up these stairs to G&B, and so you got to pass all this furry underwear and just kind of when you're 9 years old, that's kind of whoa, what
are those?
Yeah.
So really, you got your wood
moment.
So that's pretty funny.
You got your wood on the way to the skate shop.
Mama, what's that? That's lingerie.
Well, I can't say that, but
I think I want me some of that.
So you go up these stairs, and then as soon as you walk in, it's just this counter, with all the stickers and wheels and stuff, and but there was just this wall right to your right as you walk in. And back then, it was my first experience with a skate shop, but as time went on and I frequented the place a lot, it's just the first thing you're stoked on is just seeing all those decks, and there weren't that many. There was just 12 feet across, just decks, and there weren't that many, but every graphic was so epic somehow. You're so stoked. You're just wow, there's the Jeff Phillips, there's
the art and stuff.
The Blender. Yeah, it's just even back then, you'd have Town and Country. They would just have their little yin yang thing going,
Yeah.
Even that was epic, It's just some 80s, I don't know, confetti looking art, whatever, just but man, it was just so epic to walk in there every time. And but I remember my mom took me there, and I picked the Chris Miller.
Oh, you got a Chris Miller board?
Yeah,
your first board?
Yeah.
That's tight.
Yeah, I know. He's so it was a Gordon and Smith Chris Miller, and the graphics again, they were just his name on a weird, just written weird, it's just it's just I don't know, I got that deck, and ever since then I've just been super, I don't know.
You were hooked.
I had no idea what I was about to enter.
I don't think any of us really did.
Yeah, I know. But
so what was this, the late 80s probably, or
this is early 80s.
Early 80s.
I'm that old.
Wow.
So they said 84, right? You said 84?
Yeah, I think and I could be wrong, but all my life I've gone thinking it was 84.
That would make sense though, because
I was 9 years old.
You were 9, so
I was born 74, so around then. So, but yeah, it's just I was hooked. immediately, I think we built a lawn tramp.
Sick.
Like back then, my parents' house, it was dirt roads that went around it. And so we just had my driveway because my dad like laid asphalt, and we built this lawn tramp. And I have like one photograph that proves it all happened.
Yeah.
But it's pretty funny. It's like it's just funny.
Was it like, because like when I think of 80s jump ramps, I think of like a full, like it's almost like a quarter pipe.
Yeah.
You know, like full vertical.
No, this one was really small. It was only like 2.5 feet high. But later we started to figure out, well, my brother had this friend from San Diego, or from Anchorage, but he moved to San Diego, and he was just like the god of skateboarding to me at the time, and his name was Dylan Stillwell. And he came back from San Diego, and I remember he I don't know if he stayed with us or what, but he was hanging out a lot with us because he was really good friends with my brother. And he had the ramp, you know, the ramp plans. He built this like lawn tramp that was like I don't know, like waist high, and man, it hasn't been the same since. You know, it's just like he came back and kind of just So then
he showed the way.
Yeah.
To the next level.
So that lawn tramp he built, I remember, and I might have a picture of him actually on it, but ever since then I've been building lawn tramps, maybe 5 more lawn tramps in my lifetime that were all kind of built on that technique, where the whole like string and pen thing where you draw the transition. Right.
Yeah.
And just knowing how to do the skeleton and everything. But yeah,
that's what's up. So was it just like, so was there a lot of people skating around here at that time, or was it just like you and your brother? Or?
In my world, it was my driveway.
Ted, can I get your lighter?
Yeah. Excuse me, I'm burping, but
Dylan's got it. Oh, sick. We're good.
So.
Oh yeah, he hooked me up.
Yeah. So I didn't really. I mean, yeah, sure, there was a skate shop, and I'm sure people skated. I just didn't know anyone. I was so young, and for the most part, like, just, I don't know, the first 3 years, it was mostly in my parents' driveway skating.
Yeah.
They eventually paved the roads around the house, and then it's funny because my brother, he got his license at 16 when I was 12, and I remember him and some of our friends, they went to, I don't know where they went, but they went and stole one of those like little curbs, just basically picked it up, put it in the Blazer, brought it home. We had it in front of our house, and it's funny because there was a fire hydrant, so it almost just looked right, you know, just being in front of this fire. Well, that's what we thought, but it was there for years, and that's where I learned to like board slide. And
dude, I think at that era to have a curb in front of your house,
yeah, I know.
Like your house was probably the fucking spot.
Well, it was actually, because what happened was skating to me was just completely lawn tramps. Like that's
because that was your introduction,
dude.
Basically.
It was like the first 3 years for sure. Just like, okay, I'm in my house. I'm like, I'm gonna go skate, put on my Converse, and like pull the lawn tramp out. Yeah, and that was it. Like, I didn't even mess with the curb that much because it was kind of, I don't know, I just didn't, you know.
Yeah, you're definitely a product of your environment. When you're like around a certain thing, you're like, this is it, dude.
And it's funny because slappies are so big now, but back then I never did a slappy. Yeah. In fact, I just learned how to do slappies.
Dude, I didn't either. I just learned how to do frontside slappies last summer. I watched Evan do them 150 million times, and I was like, I have to learn this.
It's funny. The day I learned slappies was actually the last day I knew slappies, because I woke up next morning thinking, whoa, what just happened? And like, if you ask me to go do a slappy trick, it's not going to happen right now.
Yeah.
But, well, maybe it would. But,
dude, they're fucking
but
hard.
It was Evan. Evan was hanging out, and a bunch of other slappy masters, and I was like, just watching him, because Evan, like, in front of my house, my older house, there was just this gnarly curb, and he like waxed it up, and then what's it called when you shave the concrete?
Oh, you rub Brisket.
Yeah, he brought that, and he set it up, and
he probably lacquered it too. He's like the master of making spots skatable.
And then you know that is it Chugach? The school? No, it's not Chugach, or maybe it is Chugach optional. They have these really nice red painted curbs outside, and and so we basically just went across the street, and we were skating there, and that's where I was just like,
oh, you're talking about the school at the circular, and it's got the big
it's got the big grass hill.
It's behind Central, basically.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that day I was like, I learned Slappy's really good that day, actually. I was proud of myself.
Dude, I had to watch him do it like over and over again. I was like, okay, what is he doing that I'm not doing?
I know. That's what got me.
I was like, do I have to weigh 140 pounds to do a Slappy? I don't understand. Like,
that's what...
took me 10 years to
I
do
watched
a
Evan do
one.
Slappies just like so nonchalant.
He doesn't just do Slappies. He does like the frontside Smith Slappy.
Oh, he does it all,
like
yeah.
the nose grind pop out. Like he's got them all.
For sure. And I think seeing that right in my face all the time, I was like, I can try this. I tried it. It worked out great. I was charging him. I was proud. But like I said, that was the last day. The first day was the last day.
Yeah.
But
that's like me and nollie flips. I'll never do a nollie flip. Ever.
I've never done a nollie.
Ever?
Well, yeah. I've never done a nollie.
Damn.
And maybe as we talk more, it'll make sense.
I'll be honest, I don't do nollie tricks that much either.
Yeah.
It's really rare.
We'll talk more about why I've never done a nollie.
So going back, so you guys got the curb in front of the house. It's next to the hydrant. You're skating your launch ramp.
Yeah.
Wasn't that big of a scene going on, at least in your mind anyway. But like, when did you start realizing there were like more people skating, and did you start to develop a little crew and stuff? Or?
For sure. So what happened was it was just strictly launch ramps, and then everyone. It seemed like every friend I had was skateboarding. You know, at the time in the mid '80s. Or definitely around 87, it was huge. It was like, I mean, if you didn't skate, you still had a skateboard.
That was the year I was born.
87?
87.
Wow. Yeah, it was crazy. You know, like I was going to Romig Middle School, and everyone was skating. And like I said, even if you weren't really into it, you still had a skateboard. And well, so like at my house, because I had like, I think at the most there were like 3 launch ramps that we'd had, just like, and you pull out your favorite one or whatever you're feeling for the day, and it just turned into this like spot where like that's where everyone would go, like so there was always kind of a skate scene in front of the house. Was
Romig that school that had all the ledges, the super good ledges in front of it?
I can't say no, but they eventually had these like metal benches, which might still be there.
Oh, you're talking about the one next to
West.
Yeah. Those benches still exist.
Yeah, so I went to Turnagain Elementary, and then I ended up going to Romig. But so my house was it was the spot, and like it'd be like 9 p.m. and my dad would shut it down, just poke his head out the door and just be like,
you're done.
Maybe yelling Korean, like, enough's enough. Or,
and they knew it was over. Like, we're done, dude.
So, I think, so then like I said, my brother got his license, and so we started venturing out, like, into Midtown. We usually end up, like, around New York Life. And back then it was, like, where Tidal Wave is.
Oh, Tidal Wave.
In the back, there's that bump.
The bump is...
Dude, it's untouched. It's still the same as it was then. Like,
really?
Yeah, nothing has changed back there. Even the fish ledge, I think, was there, but we didn't skate that. But that bump, and so there's that kind of loading dock,
on the side,
loading dock. So we'd, like, bring the launch ramp, and we'd set it up to where like you launch off and then you're just immediately like airborne, you know, like but like big drop below you. And it's funny because right around that time, Pain Save used to be where Tidal Wave is.
Yeah.
And and I think, yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Pain Save. My memory's getting shot, but they'd closed, and so like it was this abandoned building. And I remember one time we went, and so I don't know, somehow we like climbed up on the roof in the back where that bump is, and like they had this like door up there on the roof. I don't know, like, so we just opened, it was just unlocked, so we went in, and then it was like old school elevator, the kind like you gotta like slide this gate.
Oh, like a fucking pulley system elevator?
Not that
like,
old school.
Like you're like, you bring the food, the servants.
More like a warehouse style.
To tell you the truth, I can't remember how it was actually run, but like it was one of those like, you know, you shut this gate.
Yeah.
But we went into Pain Save, and it was just this like abandoned, you know, just store, and all the lights are off, and we skated around. I can't really say there was a sesh going down, but we just, you know, we were so young, we were just happy to like
find this dope shit.
And it's crazy back then. Like I would never do that now, but like back then it was just like, I remember just not even being worried about it. Like
you're like, oh, this is tight.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we were kind of worried. We were like, dude, we definitely shouldn't be doing this, but it was just funny. It was, you know,
that's legit.
Because you know those floors are like, I don't know what it is. It's
polished
really
concrete,
smooth. Yeah. And it was empty.
Dude, that's like the holy grail when you're a kid, when you get to like, you find some shit like that.
Yeah, and so, yeah, the thrill
like,
almost was being in there, knowing you're not supposed to be.
And we're the only ones that know where this is.
Yeah.
We're the only ones
Well,
that
it's
know.
just funny because, like, yeah, we were just like, I don't even know why we broke in, but, and this is, of course, 87, I want to say 88, but.
13 or something.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't post 9/11 where I think the entire world changed, where if you're doing that now, it's just like, get ready, you're about to.
Dude, I'm afraid to do a lot of things.
Yeah, oh yeah. And that's
like I always question when I'm at a spot. Like I'm like, okay, what's the risk assessment? If I skate this, how high profile is it? What are the chances that they're gonna try and take my shit? You know, and like I agree with you. Back then, like when I was growing up, like they'd be like, just get out of here. You know? And, like, now it's like me and Dylan have had a run-in. Remember when those federal cops tried to sit you on the ground and they told me I couldn't leave, and I was like, what are you talking about, dude? And I was like, my car's running.
Yeah, it's
get
crazy.
The fuck out of here.
I definitely miss pre 9/11. You know, I mean, it was such a different world for not just 9/11, but just so many reasons. Like where like Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. I'm talking like 97. So like Tony Hawk's Pro Skater wasn't around, and I could be wrong with the dates, but
Boss,
you know what I'm
my
saying.
headphones do something weird. They sound funny.
What sounds funny?
My headphones.
Oh, I was
just
say,
like did some weird
this headphone's like hurting my ear, but yeah, you know, just back then where it was just like, I don't know, like skateboarding, like people didn't even like, they just like turn their heads and didn't really know what's up, and that was kind of a blessing because you could do your thing, and you know what I mean.
Yeah,
and
normal people didn't know.
Yeah,
for sure,
less hate, I guess, almost, because you were whatever, just doing your thing, and they would.
I wonder where that like hatred for it came. I heard a story where they were like in California, because like a lot of the dudes, like when you're talking about Dogtown and Z-Boys era, like they were going to people's houses when they were on vacation and all this stuff, and they were like skating their pools and like getting drunk and all this shit in the winter, and they were just breaking and entering basically. And it's like the stigma that like I feel like older generations felt like that because of like the shit that we did when it was like so young, you know, like it was total like it was anti-conformity, anti-everything, you know, like we were just doing our own shit, and people were like, normal people are just like, it's like anything that moves like water and you don't understand it, they're just like, no, I can't, I don't like that thing, you know.
Yeah.
And I feel like it carried on a little bit like as we went forward.
Well, like I said, in the 80s, it was huge. Skateboarding was huge. It was like the hottest trend, you know?
Yeah.
And then it seemed like it died down. whereas so it brought us to like around 97, where I almost felt like it turned into this thing that was forgotten, and it was nice, you know. And then I feel like after 9/11, I feel like if you're loitering or doing anything, especially with a camera, you're a terrorist, or like somehow, you know, it's just like people were just way more paranoid.
No, I can agree with you.
And it changed everything. Like all of a sudden, like you're just sitting on a curb with a camera, and people would come up to me and just like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, I'm enjoying the day. I don't know.
Get the fuck out of my face.
I'm not doing anything. I'm having fun. I don't know. You know. So
you could be like, you ever seen that movie American Beauty where he films the bag floating in the wind? I'm filming leaves falling right now. Like, you know, like it's very. I'm expressing my.
So it just seems like it went from, you know, your own business to everyone's business. And then I also feel like Tony Hawk's Pro Skater came out, and all of a sudden it was kind of annoying. You know, you got like people like, "Hey, do a 3 flip."
Oh, dude, it still happens today, dude.
Yeah, I know.
For sure.
But before Pro Skater came out, people couldn't even name a trick.
Dude. You know what's crazy is like when I was a kid, so in 97, I started snowboarding in 94, I was 7 years old. And in 97, when Tony Hawk Pro Skater came out, I didn't skate because I didn't start till 2000 or something like that, 99, 2000. And I like played that game like religiously, but I never had seen skateboarding. And then like I thought that was what skateboarding was. So unrealistic, the shit that you could do in that fucking game, dude. Like,
so you probably know Cool Boarders then too.
Oh, Cool Boarders was the dope snowboarding game on PlayStation.
I remember.
And that game was pretty awful, but it definitely
was pretty awful,
like,
but as you know, it was a huge jump from Nintendo.
Yeah. That's where I think things took a turn, when it was like, you're on a video game now and everyone gets to see it. Like they're projecting it to the masses, you know. That's where it all that really originated, like how it's gotten to today.
So in the 90s, it seemed like it was Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, but I think in the 80s, man, you guys had Gleam in the Cube that came out.
Christian Slater.
Do you think that may have like influenced the skateboarding back then to like where so many people were riding, dude? Because like I just
like
watched that movie the other day, and it was like actually a hype movie, dude. Like,
I'm gonna be honest, just and speaking on my behalf, I don't know, like Gleam in the Cube, Thrashing, and it's weird how just like skateboarding, every time a movie's been attempted to portray the lifestyle, they just all suck.
Yeah, I was about to say, tell it like it is, man.
Yeah, and so even back then it sucked. I can't say I was ever into it. I watched him just because, but for me it was we had, I don't know, I think it might have been homie that I was speaking of, Dylan, or I don't even know where they came from, but we had these just like, we had this like VHS copy with the Bones Brigade and then Future Primitive, and like you know, the little guard that was on it broke off, and it was just this old tape, and it was used every day. Like I just watched those videos every day, like just you watch it just before you go out to the launch ramp session, the front street, like
because you wanted to pan like and
then Animal Chin came out, and I remember that was just like insanity. It was just crazy.
I think that's the only video I have from that era is in search
Animal
of
Chin?
Animal Chin. I don't have any of the other ones, like any of the newer, you know, like they had videos after, and then there was like all the videos before. I just have just that video where it was just vert and like a story, and like
sure there was a lot of vert, but the launch ramp part was my favorite.
It was
obviously.
sick. Yeah,
they bust out this launch ramp in some park, and like I think I would just watch just that it got to the point where I just watched that segment and then go out in front and not try to recreate it, but it would just get me pumped.
Well, you can tell because you got a mean fucking early grab for sure, dude. Like I've seen some of the shit you do. Like it's just like, yeah, you can tell he can jump ramp for sure.
Yeah, it never went away, I guess. And then as you get older, it's like I don't know. You kind of go back to what you just, you know. I don't know.
No, you're right. You are, because like as I'm getting older, I'm like doing the shit that what I did when I was a kid, like when I was younger.
I will say though, early grabs. You know, there was a moment where I felt like it was like shunned or like frowned upon because, oh, why aren't you like popping your and then grabbing? But to me, I just whatever like.
Well, Jeff Grosso's the only dude I think that really verbalizes that in
then
media.
so I just noticed just watching skate media, you know, online.
Yeah.
It started to come back. Like all of a sudden, it was cool to like go off 15 stairs doing an early grab.
You can thank Welcome skateboards because
really,
I really think that when Welcome started to get big, there was these dudes. All the dudes on Welcome were doing like we talked about this the last episode, like doing the board slide and grabbing mute and popping in. Right, Sean Sheffy did that fucking over a decade ago. Right. Yeah. And they're doing it on fucking spots that are similar. And they're doing early grab, like wall ride, you know, down a stair set. And it's like stuff that was already done 15, 18, 20 years ago, you know?
Sure.
They were the ones that started it again. They made it cool again somehow.
Yeah. Well, so in my head, it was just it wasn't a matter of what's cool or what. It was just what I knew, you know. So. You know, I just, I've never really had shame in what I do. It's just like, you know, you see these trends come and go, and then it's like, you know, even like basically all my, you know, life I've known, like pressure flips, it's just like.
I like pressure flips.
Yeah, so like I've noticed people are like, there was a point where I was just, you know, 10 years where it was like, you'd hear like, oh, pressure flips suck or whatever, and dude, I've never done one.
Or they get really mad at you when you do it in skate.
Well, so I've never done one, but like I've always loved seeing my friends do them. Yeah. And I was like, dude, that's the reddest trick, because like, how are you doing that?
Yeah.
And so, but I just remember during that time, just like the industry or the masses were like, that trick sucks, you know.
Yeah, but I always wondered who gets to decide what sucks and what's like.
Well, so another thing is, I think there was also a time where varial flips sucked.
Yeah, for like the last 10 years, for sure. So
when I first learned kick flips, I was trying to learn to do a kick flip, and my board accidentally 180'd, you know, during the flip, and I landed on it, and I was like, oh my God, like it happened totally by accident. And I was so stoked. I was like, well, that's better than
doing the straight kick flip.
I was like, better when I was going for it. So since then, it's just, to this day, like I can do a varial flip, you know, like.
I honestly think though, like I think that like the whole varial flips not being cool thing is fucking bullshit.
Yeah,
because I could do varial flips. The first trick I ever saw someone do was this kid Luke, and he was the kid that like I first saw skateboard, and he could do varial flips like standing still, but he could do them like he popped like
standing
fucking
still?
this high.
Yeah.
And like that was how he'd practice them, and they'd start rolling and stuff, and I was like, damn, that's fucking sick. Like I want to do that. And it's like, I don't know where, and now it's like Tyshawn Jones varial flip fucking Love Park, and like Kevin Romar has a sick varial flip, and like it's a good trick. It's an underutilized trick.
I mean, what trick isn't rad, you know?
They're all fucking rad,
and that's,
you know?
I think probably is now a good time to tell you more about why I've never nollie flipped. It's just like, so, you know, I think everything I've ever done in skateboarding, came from within, like came from my heart. Like,
yeah,
of course, you see things go down. It's just like, I've always just done what I felt like I either could do or that I conjured up to thinking, you know, like to try. And nollies is just one of those things where, and of course I've sat like on someone's carpet and tried to pop a nollie, but it just wasn't happening.
It doesn't feel
and
right.
So like, yeah, it just like, it's not so much that I don't understand it, but it's just like, I'm not feeling it.
Yeah.
And so like, dude, there's like, I would say like 80% of the tricks I've seen, I've never even attempted. And so everything I've done was just really what I felt like I could do. You know?
Well, that's a good thing though, because like I always say, skateboarding, like I said, product of your environment. And skateboarding is like such an expressive thing. Like the things that I watched growing up were like what I was like, I'd be like, that's like, I like the way that looks. I want to do that.
Yeah, but right, you can do every trick.
Shut up.
So,
I can't do every trick.
Well,
I can do a lot of tricks, but it's like, but when I was young, it was like I remember the first real, like I watched Trilogy. That was like one of the first real videos I think I ever really like ever saw. And then there was this Globe video, and so I fell victim. How you said launch ramps. I watched Rodney Mullen's part in the Globe opinion video, and he did a ton of freestyle, and I was like, that's sick. I want to do that. And so I learned hundreds of freestyle tricks as a kid growing up. And I was like, that's awesome. I want to do that other shit. I want to do this.
you did it on not a freestyle deck.
Not a freestyle deck, a regular deck. It was like a 7.5 or something, but that was like what I thought was cool. And that's what's the beauty of it is that like it's what you want it to be. And it doesn't have to be like, oh, varial flips are fucking whack. It's like, dude, shut up. Like, you do whatever you want to do, you know? Like, fucking skateboard, like it doesn't matter.
And you got an amazing varial flip.
Yeah, you got the fucking when you do your varial flip, I remember there's that line in that parking garage where you do the varial flip and you like ollie, you manual the curb, the long like skinny curb thing after. I think it's in VX days.
I think you got a
varial
shock
flip-
absorber in your back leg, dude, because like when you land those varial flips, it's
You don't like varial flip like this way where it goes like this. It's like when you do it, you kick it and it's completely level and it goes forward.
they're beautiful.
It's great.
Thank you. Yeah, so you know, I feel like everything I've ever tried on a skateboard is just really from within. Like, sure, I was influenced by, like, I remember we got a copy of Love Child.
Oh, that's a great video.
Yeah,
Day One's part in Love Child.
So it was on
Amazing.
VHS. This is before internet. You know, it's just like
this beer, just so you know.
and like I know you guys were talking about how
What's this?
videos were somewhere. It's just way more epic back then before online and everything.
Oh yeah,
and,
for sure.
And it's true, man. It's like we got a hold of Love Child, and I watched Love Child like more than Animal Chin.
Oh
like,
yeah.
Like Day One, you know, just Love Child.
Day One's
It was
part
insane.
was
And-
amazing in that.
And again,
video.
like I wasn't trying to go out and imitate Day One or anything I seen, but
but it got you stoked.
it got me pumped, man.
Yeah.
Like I'd just be like, it was the music too, you know, just the video, just it
What
was
song
just
did you
had
skate
such a
to?
good
A
vibe.
Jackson 5 song?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's right. He
Yeah.
skated Jackson 5.
but just the video from start to finish was just, and it still is just one of the best, you know.
Yeah.
And so many people don't even know what
Yeah, we
you say.
talk-
Love Child, and it's like, what?
Me and Dylan will call me, and then we'll start talking about shit like that, and we'll be like, man, Dylan's like, man, these motherfuckers don't fucking know these goddamn videos. That shit got done 20 years ago, and like it's true. Like there's these videos are so iconic and so important to like even like your like skateboarding, you know, and like I remember that stuff like it's yesterday, you know.
Yeah.
Like, when you get the video and you're just like and you fucking put it in the thing and you're just like that's
Put it in the thing.
You put it in the VCR, which most kids born after 95 won't fucking know what a VCR is. You got to put it in the VCR, and you got if you want to rewatch the part, you got to fucking wait. You got to push the rewind button. Like that stuff was amazing.
Man, it's like so much stuff is forgotten now. It's because it is all just going straight to Instagram and YouTube. Like for example, like I think everybody remembers when Micah 180 nose grind 180 the Staples Center, dude. Like that was
He
insane.
kickflip
like,
layback board slid it too.
But he had the cover of a magazine, like doing that 180 nose grind, 180 down Staples, and then like just recently, like a year ago, another kid did it, and it was completely forgotten that Micah even did it, and it was like everybody
know
was
that.
blowing it up on the internet, and like
Did he did frontside 180 nose grind back to forward the
Yeah,
opposite way,
yeah.
not the same way.
yeah.
Ugh, what the that's weird.
Well, the coolest thing for Micah was that he was in one of the intros for 411. 411.
Yeah.
4-1, yeah.
So, dude, yeah, that was pretty epic. And then there's Micah, you know, it's like,
that was the best fucking videos, dude.
yeah, so
Yeah, it's a trip, man. Skateboarding is just hitting those waves, and like, I mean, what were all those waves like up here? I mean, like you said, it was crazy in the '80s. Everybody was skating, and then obviously, like, there's talk. Like, I wasn't around back then, so like, but there's talk like the skateboard scene kind of dipped after the 80s, and then it made like a resurgence in like the mid 90s. Like,
well, so I can't really say I paid too much attention to just, you know, like I said, it was my skate world was just me.
It was about you.
Yeah, well, so
Yeah.
I mean, of course, I read Transworld and Thrasher all the time, and eventually later Slap. But like before even Slap, it was just like, you know, I guess I kept up with the industry through those magazines. But for me, it was just my world, where it was in front of my parents or on Spinard skating. But I think like, so just my story is that like, what happened in high school is just like, I eventually got a license, and unfortunately, or whatever, maybe fortunately, whatever it is what it is, it's just like I really got into drinking, you know. It's just like, and it was, you know, I'm just really glad that I like survived that moment, because it was like during high school I drank so much that like, you know, every time you crack a beer, it was like I would just drink until I puke, and it was just a mess. It was like,
me and Dylan can relate.
you know, you're given a license. It's dangerous. And, you know, I just have stories for days of how I survived. And during that time, my skateboard would be in the trunk or, you know, in the back of the car, and it's just like, it kind of faded out. Like I just, you know, no more was it like, you know, to have fun like skating. It was like if I had free time, I was like, dude, I'm gonna get beer and whatever.
Yeah.
So I think I can't remember exactly when, but after I'd gone through all that, there was this point where I was at Cars on Minnesota, and like, I don't know, for some reason I just stopped at the magazine section, and there was a Transworld, and I hadn't picked up a Transworld maybe in a couple of years, and there was like a sequence on the cover of Transworld, and it was Donger Kinlu.
Oh, he's the Ollie King.
Dude, he was doing
with his big ass ponytail.
So I don't know if you guys, this might be before your time, but there was a sequence of him like going like buck over this fence, this really tall fence, and I remember I just seen that, and I was like, whoa, like so I picked up the magazine and I looked at it, and I was like,
my favorite,
it went right back into like, I won't say I stopped drinking, but like all of a sudden skating took back over.
Yeah.
And from that point on, I just like, I remember I went out and I went to Borderline, and was it Borderline? I can't remember where, or it was Northern. I don't know.
Which location? I know.
The one on Arctic. But I can't remember where I got it. But anyways, I got this Eric Dressen deck, and it was a slick bottom or whatever.
Oh yeah,
I think it was Santa Cruz. It was an Eric Dressen deck though. I just remember I went and bought it, and then yeah. So back, I was just like, I got through the whole drinking period, and skateboarding, you know, picked up where it needed to. And
my favorite Donger.
Donger.
Dude, he was.
Kids don't even know about Donger, right?
Dude, he was the Danny Wainwright. He was like the dude that was like could pop fucking stupid high.
Dude.
He did there was a clip of him that like resurfaced where he does this, probably like I think one of the first real, besides Jeremy Ray doing front threes, he was like the first dude to really do a front three all the fucking way around down something. And it was like down that like 3 block, that little 3 block with the ledge that goes straight out and then goes straight down. And people still skate it today. Had a chain at the end of it, and he fucking front threes. Like, I'm not even.
I know what you're talking about. Actually, you gotta ollie up, and there's that chain. Yeah.
And he fucking does it like seriously above waist high. And he's like, ugh, and he lands, and they're like, "That was good." And he's like, "All right." I was like, man. Dude, unreal.
Yeah.
So gnarly, and that was so early for. I feel like not that many people. Maybe like I feel like Wade Spire had pop back then, but there's a few dudes, like 2 or 3 dudes that I think had like that level of like ollie power.
Yeah. Do you know? Have you seen Donger recently?
No.
All right. Where is he?
I don't know. Oh no.
Where does someone with that much pop go?
Oh no. I can't hear shit, boss. Back in Matrix. Am I back on? I can't hear shit. Tight. Oh, there we go. We're good. Oh, 100%. I can hear everything. Where does Donger go? Someone like that?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I don't know, man. I feel like...
It almost seems like the way he skated, he wasn't prone to even get hurt. You know?
Yeah, I mean, it's...
Just so...
I don't know, man. It's like how you said, though, like when you talk about like skateboarding is like something that it was from like it was from here, you know? Like, and you... That's how you wanted to skate, and that was your skateboarding. It wasn't about all this other shit going on. And like maybe for him, I mean, there's a lot of dudes that are still around, you know, like a dude that I skated with, God, what's his fucking name? He rode for Osiris. He's the oldest professional skateboarder in the world right now. He's, I can't remember. Rode for Satori. I can't remember his name. I gotta Google it right now. But he's still around. Like, those dudes still exist, but it's like they skate. And
for sure. But, yeah, with the online thing, it's like you almost feel like you could find Donner.
So, like...
Are you searching right now?
Dude, I when I rode for Satori Wheels and Creation, he was, like, the first dude I ever skated with, and he was, like, so cool, and he's from, like, H Street era. And he's like, he's an old dude. He's like 55, 60 years old almost or some shit like that. And he's amazing still to this day. I can't remember his fucking name, though.
Sorry. I guess I'm not even trying, but I just know that my memory, I'm not going to come up with it.
It starts with an R. I can't remember.
All right, so moving on.
I'm going to look it up. You can move on while I...
All right. So, I mean, yeah. So obviously, eventually, you got into filming. Is that something like? Did somebody influence you to start filming, or did you just pick it up on your own? Or
no. So I remember when I got back into skating, like I remember, you know. So I kind of like. So I just remember I just really wanted to kickflip.
Ron Allen.
Oh, Ron Allen. Yeah, for
Ron
sure.
was the first dude I ever skated with in San Francisco.
Ron Allen skated for Osiris?
He skated for Osiris, Satori, and Yellow Brand, I think, at the time. When I was, like, young. Okay. That dude was amazing. He was the coolest dude ever.
Yeah, he still is. He's someone, actually, I think you can still find clips of.
Yeah, he's like 56 years old, and he's doing, like, skating parks and stuff, like, still doing it.
Yeah, so I just remember I just really wanted to kickflip really bad. And I remember around the same time, like, I bought my dad this, like, Magnavox, just crappy camera. I think it was, like, a Christmas present. It was a Christmas present. It was, like, and, you know, I gave it to him, and, like, he never even used it. So I just basically, I took it over, you know. And so I'd, like, you know, this is before selfies. Like, I would selfie the Magnavox on me, trying to do kickflips, and you know, I don't know. Like, I was just filming myself, you know, just setting up the camera just to see the trick go down, and then eventually I started to, you know, hook up with people that, you know, were skating, and I remember I'd make these, like, really crappy edits with 2 VCRs.
Oh,
the whole pause.
Tape to tape.
Yeah, just tape to tape. And it would take hours, but you loved it. You know, just this is before technology, you know, where it is now.
I'm really impressed how they edited those videos back in the day and, like, edited them so well.
Well, I think in the industry, because they had machines that edited.
Right.
Crazy expensive machines.
Exactly. Yeah. And of course, I've never even seen one in real life, and I still haven't.
Yeah. Because even in like 98, dude, 99, when I started filming, we were still, like, that's how I learned, was tape to tape.
Yeah, dude, I was doing VCR to VCR until, like, I'm late with everything, you know? I got PlayStation by the time PlayStation 2 came out, you know, or my parents got a microwave when, you know, it's just like everything is just really late for me, you know what I mean? And so, like, I just remember my friend gave me this iMac, and I remember, you know, by then everyone had already been, like, online and chatting and
trying to mack on chicks on MSN
Well, so-
Messenger.
I think also when I was younger, I was also anti everything. Like people had cell phones.
That's a skateboarder in you, Ted.
Well, whatever. It's the slow me catching up. But I was just always anti. I was going through these like kind of punk rock attitudes where I was just like, man, F all that crap, and especially internet, because to me at the time I was like, how could that even help me in any way? And I see you guys are, I knew this person that was just like online all the time, and I frowned upon it. I was just like, what are you doing?
It back then too, which you couldn't even do that much shit on the internet.
Right. And so I was anti, and then my friend gave me this iMac, and then it was like all of a sudden I saw, all right, I could see how all of a sudden I don't need to do the VCR thing, and everything was at a click, everything was at a file, and it was amazing. Like all so I was like, I can put all my attitude away for it. I basically jumped in. I was like, all right, this is rad. I can add music now. I can have I can play a song as well as hear the skate noise, because back in the day it was like with VCR somehow the audio for the skating wouldn't come through if I decided to put music over it. So it's either or. And so I jumped in full. I was like stoked, and I have can't say I've made a VCR edit since then.
We should make a VCR edit.
Yeah.
Just to do it.
Well, I remember Gons came out with that video.
The laptop video?
Where, I don't know, he filmed it all on VHS.
Oh,
and
yeah.
This is, do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
And it was rad.
He had two different cameras, and they were VHS cameras.
Yeah, and I'll say I'm still a believer. Like, you don't need all the HD, you don't need all the technology, you don't need all the craziness, because it is what it is. And honestly, my favorite videos have nothing to do with all the technology. It's not about...
Yeah, me too. I feel like one of my favorite videos that I cherish is Trans World's In Bloom, because that was like a really important video to me. Is when I was like really like starting to like learn skateboarding and get better, and I was like, oh man, like this is... And it's shot on film. The whole thing is shot on fucking film.
Yeah, so I know I know trends come and go and stuff, and I know that VX filming is still cool.
It is.
I mean, relevant.
But the only reason why I mess with VX is just it's what I know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm totally content with everything. I like holding the VX with a heavy ass like
the lens,
Sentry optics, opposed to, I don't even know, like it almost seems less like, I can't imagine holding these little tiny cameras that capture in HD where is I just know how to hold a VX, or film with a VX, and so I almost feel like the lighter it goes, the less I'm just gonna boof it. Like if I
can't remember who it was, but they said they watched Flat Earth, that Chris Ray movie that came out, and it's like filmed on the Red Scarlet or the new red or the wooden camera, basically. Like they have this crazy red camera that like is like the gnarliest. It's like 4K at fucking 120 frames per second or some crazy shit like that.
$32,000.
$32,000, and like the problem is like when you film on a camera like that, it has to be like watching a fucking Michael Bay movie. Like it can't be this raw like video, because it's just like you can slow-mo a hummingbird's wings flopping on that camera.
Well, again, I think that's cool, but
I mean, it's cool in its
just
own
not
way,
what I know.
It's like, I don't know, like I don't really, I'm gonna be honest, I really don't enjoy videos that are like super mega ultra HD.
Really?
Because it's, I don't know, it's like watching a movie.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion. I don't really.
Sure. I enjoy it all. I just don't know how to mess with it. I'm still on iMovie 2, I think. Like
iMovie 2?
Yeah, I think so.
Killing it.
Just because
it works.
Exactly.
Well,
and you should see, I'm like a master at it. It's like click, 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 click. I look at even like, iMovie or laptops are giving you iMovie where it's like it's geared towards HD and stuff. Yeah. And I've tried to mess with it, and I was like, dude, it's learning all over again. And I don't necessarily feel like I need all that extra, And I'm not dissing it. I'm just saying I don't know it,
Well, that's the beauty of like being a cinematographer, somebody that makes videos, Like it's what you want the video to be and how you're portraying this feeling and what we want people to feel when they watch the video, Like you don't need to have all that stuff if it's not necessary.
Yeah, but I will say, this is where friends come through for you. It's like I remember when I made VX Days, like I didn't have the capabilities to throw all these titles and cool, things, fonts and stuff. Yeah. And so I asked Brendan Hupp to help me out because he knew what was up, and it was simple stuff, It was just, hey, can you throw this title over this? And he did, and without it, I really felt like I wanted that because I didn't want to use what iMovie 2 was giving me. And I had been, and it worked at the time, but it's just like I felt like for VXAs I want to do a little something more, I don't know what the word is, personalized or just something else other than these given fonts. And it worked out. I liked the font we picked, and that's all I kind of needed because the rest was, it's just basic needs. It wasn't, didn't need too much.
Yeah.
So I would like to know how to keep up, but at the same time, I got so many other things going on. It's not worth my time, I guess. Like,
no, that's fair.
Like if someone could tell me like right now, I really would like to know Photoshop. Because I draw a lot, and it's gonna need a lot of Photoshop editing. Because I want to make a book, and I have like hundreds of images where I want to like I want to know tweak it, I want to know how to, or not tweak it, it's just edit it, enough for a book, because so many reasons why it would help.
I've tried
but I'm at ground zero. I don't know.
I've tried Photoshop. I'm where you are. Like Will uses Photoshop like a fucking master.
Yeah.
And so like I've tried before, and I'm just like, dude, I fucking don't get it. I have to watch. I have to YouTube like 10 videos just to figure out how to like like blend this one line, to like make it look a certain way. And you're just like, dude, this is like But there's people that can like just do it so quick,
Yeah.
And like I skipped out on it too. Like I think the last program I ever edited with was an iMovie program. Like I don't think I've ever used Final Cut really in my life.
Yeah, so Final Cut, like just those words, it brings, I don't know, anxiety or where it's like, I'm going to be pushed back to like ground zero, or, where I just like don't know how to even mess with it.
So what's crazy with like Final Cut now is like they've almost like made it so simple to use now. It's almost like you'd be using like iMovie or anything.
Oh, really?
Like
the updated version
the newest one?
Yeah, the newest one.
Because I remember when I tried to use it on like my 2 computers ago to like edit footage to send to people, I was like, oh my god, dude, I don't know how to hotkey any of this shit. I don't know what function to push. Like I have no clue. Like I was like just timeline. That's all I knew, how to put it in the timeline.
I didn't even know how to do anything, man. I had stuff in timeline in just the iMovie HD, and it was just like, yeah, it just sucks to like be like, I don't even know how to crop this,
Yeah.
It's something so simple, and then let alone I just gotta learn everything else. iMovie 2, man, I'm like I said, I just like, it almost feels good, just click.
So here's what's gonna happen, Ted.
Yeah.
Everything in history that's happened in skateboarding is gonna go fucking backwards. So then when you hit 50, fucking people are gonna be like, dude, iMovie 2 is where it's fucking at. This is it. This is the program. And it's gonna become the big thing, and you're gonna be at the forefront of like, you're gonna be the Chris Ray of iMovie 2.
And I still got a lot of respect for like people that are filming with like VXs, and it's like that 4/3 aspect ratio, dude. It gives it a lot more, I don't know, feel to the actual skate videos. But like the only problem I had was maintenance, dude, and it's like constantly having to clean your heads, constantly having to buy tapes, and it's like And it just became, for me, it almost became like more of an issue of like having to spend the money, dude. And
that was
like,
the worst when you had dirty heads and you'd like record a clip and then it would like
Yeah.
fucking glitch out. That happened to me a ton. Like,
or even if you
growing up.
can't afford tapes, dude, then like you're like, well, you're stuck with making the decision. Well, do I want to record over this old footage and stuff like that? And then the quality's not as good. And
I know, but see, that's what I'm saying. That's the only game I know, so it's kind of gold. Like, I don't need it to change, but you know, and it is kind of rad when you gotta like weigh your, like, do I record over this?
Dude, I've done it 100
That's
times.
so funny.
Easily. Like,
Oh, dude, I've had we've all had.
there's
every
probably shit that
situation.
that I filmed of people that like will never see the light of day because I was like not worth it and recorded over it for
Yeah, yeah.
something else.
most of my footage that I've never
What are you
seen.
talking
yeah.
about? You had one clip that you really fucking wanted, and it was on my old MacBook. It still probably is on my old MacBook somewhere.
Search
but it was
that Mac
one
100
clip. He did
times.
kickflip nose manual, nollie flip out around this like crazy manual pad thing. And he like still to this day he brings it up. When we're fucking 80 years old, he's
Man,
gonna
I
bring
actually
up,
got to dig up some old Dylan clips. I got Dylan at the bell tower over there where, the bell tower.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'm pretty sure I got Dylan doing nose manual, nollie flip out, like clean as it gets.
Oh, around the clock
And maybe
tower?
even at night.
Yeah, it was cold as hell too. I think it. Like,
Oh, you remember what I'm talking about?
I know. Yeah,
Okay.
it was me, you, and CJ went, and he
Okay.
like the same night he did that like
that line.
that back 50 like
Pop out
gap
over
out
the
over the
thing, yeah.
stairs like
Yeah. But yeah, I should dig up some old Dylan clips.
You do like an anthology disc set.
It might
Of,
might
like, all
only
the
be like
lost
3
footage.
clips strong, but I could slow mo and replay and
You could do like
get slower
No,
and
you could
slower.
just do what we were talking about the last one, the Instagram. Where it's
That's
like,
what I was
where it's
just
like,
saying.
And he's rolling up and it's zoomed in, zoomed out, and then it's like, but it's a
God.
2-minute edit somehow. of Dylan doing one trick.
So so VX days, like, and you've had some other videos, but like prior to VX days, like, I mean, like this morning I like caught up on some stuff and didn't really catch up. I just haven't seen these videos in a while, so I was watching Flying Wheels and Family Tree now. Now, was Flying Wheels actually your first video? Did you guys do anything before that?
Oh yeah, so no, I want to say the first video I filmed. Well, so I just remember like back in the VHS days, I remember I made this one video called 1-2 Shit, and it was like
1-2 shit.
Well, yeah.
That's tight.
Well, it was from a Tribe Called Quest song, but like maybe around those time, I was just making these like quick edits. So there was 1-2 Shit. I went to Portland. There was Patches of Cat. There were all these videos that were just made, and they would go nowhere. They would just be like for the home, like only like 10 people would see it or whatever. So that I made all those kind of edits, but just putting a title to it and just making it this little edit was so exciting.
Patches the Cat.
Patches the Cat was a
sick-ass
cat
name for a video.
Yeah, it was an actual cat.
Yeah.
That hung around at the homie's apartment while we were skating. But I think I think the the first effort to really make a video was called Science Fiction, and it was this like 2-hour VHS cut tape where it was 2 hours though. It was just like.
You pulled a J.J. Abrams
Well, because
and did 2 hours.
Yeah, I've been filming so much, and then I was like, I'm gonna make this video, and then I put it all together, just like, of course, like I said, VHS days, so there was no skate sound. It was all like just the music.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it was 2 hours long, but it was probably close to there. And then I remember our homie Andre Spinelli had a
Big Air Dre.
Okay, so you know him. And so
I know
like
Andre.
he had this cabin that his parents had or something in Girdwood, and I was like, we're gonna have the premiere there, And so the first premiere I ever had for a video was at Andre's parents' cabin or something in Girdwood, and there were a lot of people. I remember, I mean, not a lot, but like 20, I don't know, something. But the room was packed.
Yeah.
And it was exciting, It was like we popped the video and yeah, so that was the first I would say legit effort. And then I just I got a little, I upgraded my, like I went from the VHS to iMac, and then this is when I made No Skateboarding. And No Skateboarding was actually, it was a lot of older footage. I got the iMac, and I just felt like I could actually make and edit, now.
Yeah.
The way I wanted to, without so much frustration of, the funny thing is with those VHS technique is you hit pause record, and then you're looking for the footage to add, and then it cuts, it stops. Like back, VCRs, they only had this weird 2-minute, we're only going to hold this for you for 2 minutes, and then it's just going to stop.
Yeah.
And so, it's just like, it was so frustrating. And then the iMac, I was like, I can finally do this the way I want. And so I made No Skateboarding, which again doesn't have the audio of skate noise.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. Actually, wait, maybe.
I feel like the
iMac. I was a beginner. I don't know what I was doing, but I know, right? I think I could have included the skate noise, or I don't know what was going on.
No, because I remember I had an iMac when they came out. My parents had an iMac. And you couldn't do hardly any of the shit that you can do today.
Yeah, I can't
on that program.
Yeah, this is the big monitor thing. Where
it was basically the CPU and the sound card.
Was it called
everything.
something else?
No, because
iMac?
there was
Okay.
so there was basically the Macintosh was
Yeah.
the first computer. It was black and white. It had paint on it. And
Oh,
you
yeah,
had a CD-ROM, and it wasn't CD-ROM. It was floppy disk. And then there was the CD-ROM version, and then after that it was iMac.
Okay,
Which
yeah.
was they had the different colors. There was the green one,
Yep,
blue
I had the green one.
the yellow, and there was all the different colors. And it was this white plastic monitor that had everything in it, and it had the disc thing could go in the front.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out why I wasn't able to include skate noise with music. But
Well, that's Steve Jobs doing his magic from the beginning. He made it so you had to wait. He's like, we got this really cool shit we're gonna do, but here's your iMac that can't transfer the sound to the skate video.
yeah,
Fucking Steve Jobs is probably rolling over in his grave right now, laughing at us because he got us again.
So I made No Skateboarding, and I remember I only made 100 copies of it, and it was on VHS, and for me, it just, the timing was right, where I had some homies. My friend Jesse Cross.
I know Jesse.
Yeah, right. Everyone knows Jesse. Great guy.
I used to give him my Burton Pro forms
Oh yeah.
because he was like, "I need Burton gear," and I'd be like, "I got you, bro. No problem."
Yeah, Jesse's he's one of the most amazing people I've ever known. But so at the time, I remember through Jesse, he had these friends that were doing the whole snow machine, snow. What's that? Yeah, exactly. The snow machine snowboarding kind of mashup videos, and they were premiering it at the Hilton, and so they were like, "Hey man, I think Jesse just knew that my No Skateboarding was ready to go." And he's like, they said they're into if you play it, before their video. And I was like, dude, I'm so down. And so I go to the Hilton, and there's just dude, it was insane. It was I don't even know, more than 1,000 people,
Is that the Hilton that's at the same?
The Hilton,
the same
yeah,
spot?
the Hilton, the real deal. And they rented out not only the, I don't know, ballroom or whatever, but they had all these they had this hallway where just all these separate rooms and just screens after screens, just everything playing.
That just goes to show you can't be poor and own a snow machine.
I
Those
don't
dudes
know.
have money for sure. If they're renting out the Hilton, that's crazy.
Well, there were so many people there,
Yeah.
And so my video, No Skateboarding, got to play before their video. And for me, that was, it was insane. And I remember I only made 100 copies of VHS. I ended up giving half of them away. I wasn't even trying to ever make money, It's just the whole reason of just making 100 VHS copies was just I had this weird idea, not weird, but I had this idea that like, you know, around those times I'd go to my friend's house and like they'd have like some zine laying around or something, and something that was just so rare, and I'd pick it up and I'd be so stoked that like I'm having this moment where I found it laying around, you know, and so I just came up with, you know, it was in my head that like if I make this video, I want it to be rare. I want it to be like where someone's at a homie's house and then be like, I got this no skateboarding video, and they pop it and they're gonna be like, dude, what? You know. So almost the more rare it was, the more awesome, or just felt right to me.
It was like The Ring, dude. That sounds like The Ring. There's like one tape that exists.
Are you talking about the horror movie?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's one VHS tape out there circulating.
So, yeah, I think eventually, once I learned how to burn copies on DVD, I made more copies of No Skateboarding.
Because I feel like I watched No Skateboarding when we first met. Like we talked about something similar to this, and you were like, "Yeah, I made this," and I watched that. But only one I haven't seen is Flying Wheels.
Okay,
that's the only one. Dylan was supposed to bring it, but he forgot. So
that would have been rad to just play it back here.
Yeah, play it in the background.
Yeah.
My bad.
No, so yeah, I think so. Then Flying Wheels came out, or after No Skateboarding, I'd figured out skate noise, and you know, I got better at iMovie. And Flying Wheels was it was just kind of you know, I don't know. It was, so Flying Wheels is basically crew. It's the first like time where I really felt like we had this solid crew that I spend every day with, you know. And so you know, just the name came about where like homie, we were just doodling pictures, and he was like, you know, he just doodled Flying Wheels.
It's the wheel like, with the wings.
Yeah.
Coming out of it, yeah.
And really it was about like cruising around town, skateboarding all day, every day in my van. I had this 82 Chevy van. And so the whole Flying Wheels was like these wings coming off a van. It was a doodle, you know, and like that's where just the whole crew formed, where it was just like, these are the people every day, all day. And so Flying Wheels was kind of my first kind of homie video, or, you know, just your crew.
It's your squad. It's all your friends. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. That being said, though, like, I don't know, I've just never been so, like, you know, like, anyone that was down
to skate,
to hang. Yeah, not even skate, you just hang.
Well, that's my first interaction I had with you, like, ever.
Exactly.
You were like, you messaged me and we're like, yeah, man, like, you, like, if you're in Anchorage, we should, like, skate. Like, you were just down to, like, hang out with me when I knew no one in town, you know? Like, I knew no one. You were like, yeah, dude, I watched your video, the video that came out, the Fairbanks video, and you were like, you should, like, come skate and, like, hang out. And I was like...
Well, I think, I just, you know, like, just being super stoked always to film anything skate-related was just, you know, it really didn't take much to, like hang, you know, like, I'm just down, like I don't, like, you can be the most opposite of lifestyle or whatever, or, you know, just...
But it's that commonality.
Dude, I kind of feel like that attitude, you know, it, I've just seen it over the years, just like, so, you know, just the love for skateboarding has just brought so many crews together, or just different people, you know, like, you know, even during all the whole rivalry crap, you know, stuff with shops and stuff, it's like, I knew what I was about. I was like, you know, I just want to film. I don't care what shop you ride for. I don't care what you're about. I even hung out with people that just hated each other, and I was just like, come on, guys, get together, or just get along enough for, like, to hang out with me and film some stuff, you know, and, like, and so, you know, I've always been so stoked that, like, a video camera could bring so many different walks together and get along for a moment, and, you know.
All right, so going back into things, I mean, it almost seemed like you said, like these videos were bringing people together that normally wouldn't be together. Like
for sure, and that's okay. So I think at first, like I said, I think making the video was just to bring all the. I don't know if I actually said that, but the drive to make a video was to get the homies together and watch it, and that's all. And then I think as my experience grew and my love for filming, skating, and just just the community being such a smaller, closed off, isolated scene, I got to know basically everyone that are to this day some of my best friends, through that. And so during all this, I think there were those shop rivalries. Am I saying that right?
Rivalry, yeah.
And I just wasn't ever buying into it. I just, my friend started DSL skate shop, and I remember he saying, like, hey, do you want to ride for DSL? And I was like, okay, I don't even know what that meant,
Sure.
But yeah, but in no way was I going around like with DSL pride. I was stoked on what DSL was about and what they were doing, but I was meeting everyone at the time, and so like some of my best friends became the Borderline kids, during all this, and so I just had this like love for making videos and skating, and I really kind of was trying to express that, like, this is what it's about. I don't care about your shop. I don't care about what you're about,
Yeah.
And it worked because I brought together all these homies that maybe necessarily wouldn't be hanging out with each other, getting in the van, going skating all day. And it was rad. And that's kind of where, like, after Flying Wheels, it was Family Tree, and then even VX Days. It was really about, like, man, I just don't, like, let's just put everything behind, and then let's just hang, skate, and love each other,
Can we do that today? Because that would be really nice. Because that shit still exists.
I know. And so, yeah, me and Dylan were talking about that. It's just like, it still exists. And I don't know why, like.
I don't think it has anything to do with skateboarding. I think it has to do with human nature.
Yeah.
Really. I mean, we all do the same stuff. Like, we all love it for some of the
right,
same
but
reasons.
even the Bloods and Crips came together and started to be okay with each other,
For
right?
a common good, yeah.
Right. So, I just always believed, I guess I was never into, like, representing anything other than my heart. Like, definitely not a shop, and I'm stoked, like, the videos, I just feel like, there was no other reason to be in it, or I just felt like I was down to film you if, I don't know, one, we either had a moment, or like that we were just kicking it, and you're whatever. You don't even need to be shredding. I was gonna say you're ripping or whatever, but like, you don't even need to do that. Like, I would include, just anyone, man.
Yeah.
And of course, Tim, yeah, you're amazing, but that's not why. Like, I remember we just kind of hit it off, like, just what's up, like, and we were good.
I think, like, you and I agree on that standpoint. Like, I will take out there's a kid that comes to the shop a lot, and his name's Joseph, right? Mm-hmm. And he is, like, just really getting into skateboarding, but, like, I like his personality and his, like, drive, and, like, like, just him as a person, and, like, so I'm, like, down to, like, talk to him, like, go snowboarding, and, like, like, take him under my wing, because it's not really about, like, if you can do fucking 3-flip crooked grinds. I don't give a shit about that stuff. It's about him as a person, and I feel like that way about a lot of the skateboarders, like, I can respect them as skateboarders, but sometimes it's not necessarily, like, it's more about who you are, you know, as a person, like how you project yourself. And like, I don't know, it's not, you don't have to be the best skateboarder.
Yeah,
that's not what
not at all.
skateboarding
That's
is, you know?
not at all. Yeah, exactly. And like, I'm actually kind of, you know, like, I don't know, it's probably pretty complex to say, like, I like the industry. At the same time, I just don't want to be a part of it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not that I'm not so anti-industry. It's just I know what it takes, or I have an idea of what it takes to exist in the industry. And to me, that's a huge turnoff, because you do have to keep up with, you have to give a reason almost to exist, or, you know, like, I don't know if it's fashion or tricks that you're doing, but it's just
To stay relevant is what you're saying, yeah. In a way.
yeah, or I don't know, to get paid, to make a living doing it. It just,
Adrian said something to me one time, Adrian Williams, when I skated with him in SF, because we went to go, he rode for NSS, I think, at the time, or something. And we were at, Union Square, the big 3 block that everyone skates in. There's like the gap over the stairs onto the diamond. And we were trying to film him do a nollie flip down it. And we were in the car, he was like, yeah, like, you know, like sometimes I gotta go out and do this stuff because it's a job, you know? And like, I feel like that's what like is kind of the thing where it's like becomes a separation of like this, you expressing yourself in this lifestyle versus like, I have to do it because I have to get paid.
yeah. And again, well, honestly, I've watched Adrian go from, you know, this tall to where he's at now, and I've been super proud of him, you know, just every step of the way. Like, there was a time where every time he showed up in magazine, I'd clip it out, and like I still got, you know, I just have a collection of Adrian clips in magazine form. It's just like, I'm so proud of him, but like, and that's his deal, you know. Like he wants to do that, and that's great. But I'm just saying, you know, on my behalf, it wasn't me. It's just like I was saying, how like I've never tried so many tricks just because it wasn't what I was feeling or what I'm about, you know. Yeah. And so I just knew, like, from way early that, like, yeah, the industry is just something that it's not gonna, you know, it's just not my drive or whatever to be any part of, you know. And honestly, I think I've worked every job under the sun where my whole idea was that, like, yeah, I can go roll burritos for someone just knowing that when I get off, like, I can go skate, you know, and like that's all
the ultimate
that mattered.
Goal.
Yeah, and so like, oh, I need a VX camera. I went out and got a second job at Video City, you know. It's like I knew what it took to get what I needed, so I did it. And like, I don't know, like you know, I've never thought about sponsor me tapes. I've never done anything in skateboarding that needed to please anyone else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And again, I'm not dissing, you know, people that are about it. That's cool. That's their thing, you know. I think it's awesome. The industry, like I said, like, I'm not against it. It's just not me.
It's not how you feel about skateboarding. That's like how.
Well, I honestly thought, like, working these crappy jobs that had nothing to do with skateboarding and keeping skateboarding separate from anything that had to do with livelihood was a blessing, because, or just the right way for me, because, like,
makes you appreciate,
you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it just keeps it separate, you know. It's like, you know, I know, like, Jerry, you know, Jerry.
I know Jerry, yeah.
I remember he got hooked up with Think, and I know he hurt his ankle really bad soon after. And then immediately Think was like, they were just like over it, you know?
Yeah.
And I remember feeling heartbreak. I was so excited for Jerry. And then it was just like, wait, what? They just don't even care.
I remember that too. Like,
yeah, so, you know, I don't even know why I'm saying.
It feels like at that point though, like it's like you're more of like you're a marketing ploy. You know, like you're if you're not able to skate and make them money, then you're useless to them. You know, it's not about you as a person. It's about how many fucking
you know. I think we could talk all night about industry, because it's
we could.
It's huge. It's crazy. It's there's a lot to be said, but like I said, it's still a great thing. It's just I just don't want, I'd rather sit on the side and enjoy it than put my life into it.
I feel like nowadays young kids really don't like feel the same way about skateboarding.
Sure. Now it's like,
because like I'm in for life. Like when people are like, I don't really care about much else, but like if I don't get to skate or do something that's on a board for like a while, like I start to lose my mind. Because it's been so much a part of my life that without it, I feel like it's the truest extension of who I am. Like I feel like I can really be myself when I'm doing this thing, and it's so important to my life. And like kids nowadays are like, yeah, dude, I got a skateboard. It's like cool or whatever. Like I fucking like playing tennis too. It's like whatever. So you're like, it's not the same kind of thing, in this modern age.
Yeah, well,
just in my thoughts, like kids that I talk about, I talk to. It's not the same feeling.
Well, this might be a good time to say that, like, there's this, like, whole, I think it's for real that, like, skateboarding is an art. Like, to me, from my experiences, that's all it's been. In definition, it is an expression. It is creativity. It is an art to me. I think it's become a sport. I think it's become so many things, and later generations or current recently is just like it's just so insane that it can be so many different things, whatever. But to me, it's always been an art, and I guarantee the first people that like put together a skateboard, it was about fun. They put together skateboards like, dude, try this is fun, I think later it becomes something else, and I think with media and if you take away all the media trophies and just everything, you're left with skateboarding, and it is what it is, and it's.
I totally.
If it's not an art, then it's about having fun,
Yeah.
And it's a lot of the time I almost feel like that fun is lost now when everybody just wants to focus on I need to be sponsored, I need to be this.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to get on.
And realistically, there's so few people that are actually making money doing this. Like even like Adrian, when he was pro, I'm pretty sure he was still working jobs just to survive, dude. And it's like, and it's just rough.
Dude,
but
Jordan Hoffert fucking does construction and digs ditches in the summer, and he's got pro wheels, pro board. Like he's up there, Like they don't make. There's very few dudes that make like a ton of money on it.
Yeah, and I don't know what it takes to make a ton of money on it, but like I said, it's like even to make to maintain or to have a livelihood through skateboarding to me was always kind of a no-go. Like I was just like, I'm gonna keep it separate. I'll do whatever I gotta just so that I keep it separate, or I don't
what you said was so profound though, like when you said that it's not a sport, it's becoming a sport, because I looked it up and I was like, what is exactly a sport by definition? A sport is something where a group or a singular person reach a common goal and there is basically a finish line, right? And I've said it time and time again, skateboarding is not linear, okay? There's no A to B. You can't fucking beat it. There's no gold medal. There's no coaches. There's no practice. That's not what it fucking is, And it's like when you put a fucking label on it like that, where it's like, now we're going to the Olympics in 2020, which I'm using as an excuse when I get kicked out of spots. I'm like, yeah, I'm training for 2020. But it's become something that is not, to me, it's not really the philosophy of skateboarding, Like you can argue it as much as you want, but it's like, oh, like this guy got a gold medal and he's the best. Is he really the best? Because it's so interpretive to what you visually see. I would rather watch Gino do a fucking no comply and a backside nose slide on a picnic table than watch Shane O'Neill do nollie inward heel flip, front crook, nollie flip out. Because I don't really, it's just not, it's what I think skateboarding should look like, It's not a sport. You can't beat it. When they start, I guarantee you, it's only going to be in the Olympics for like that year. That's it. There's only two countries that have teams, China and France. That's it. They're the only ones training right now.
Okay, so yeah, I hear you. And I just want to say that, like, even though for me it was just never about even trying every trick in the book or whatever, that's just me. But on the side, like, I do appreciate progression.
Yeah.
I know Dylan does. Huge, it's just like, it's great, man. I'm highly entertained by watching how nuts it's going. And I think progression is great. I've never been about competition myself, but I can't speak for everyone else. It's become, it is what it is for everyone,
Yeah.
I'm just saying for myself, it's just always been more of an artistic expression.
Yeah.
And just an enjoyment,
It's that feeling that you get, Like,
yeah.
when you're doing it.
So I'm saying though, like, I'm trying to say that, like, I'm not, dude, like, in no way, like, just because it's something else for someone else, I'm not dissing that. You know what I mean? Like,
it's just not for you. That's what it means.
Exactly.
Yeah. For sure. That's how I feel. I can appreciate, like when we said the last episode, I appreciate Nyjah Houston as a skateboarder because he's amazing. He's talented. He's great.
Yeah.
But I am not really down with the whole athlete part of it. Like, it's just not me. Like, I don't think that it's like it's not a sport, man. Like, that's all I can say is it's like, that's not it. Like, now I don't care how many gold medals you win. Like, yeah, you're amazing, but like, that shit doesn't matter to me at the end of the day.
Well, I definitely feel like one thing that I've seen, like, in your videos, and you can see that you really, like, these videos, like, they're actually something you can look back on and you feel good about them, and you can see, like, in that time, like, what people are doing, and like it's like you said, like, maybe you guys weren't filming the craziest shit, but like, I watched those videos this morning, and I seriously felt good after I watched them. Like,
dude,
and
that's great to hear, because that's all I was after ever. I mean, first and foremost, it was about getting the homies together and enjoying it, but secondly, it was just like, I don't know, I want to have this timeless feeling of just being stoked. I want, like, I know you weren't there for all of it, but it's great to hear that, like, it can make you feel good, you know what I mean? Like, and so I feel like when I was making them, there was never this drive to be the best, or, no hype is good for me, like, it is what it is, and like, I don't care, like, if you think it sucks because it's not in comparison, to something else. Like, just all that stuff is just, it just has nothing to do with why I do what I do. You know what I mean? And it worked out, I'm old now, and like...
You're not that old. You're not that old.
I'm just saying, when I was younger...
How old did you say you were?
43.
43. You're good, dude.
Okay, well...
Day one's what, 41? 42?
Well, my point is,
You're
though,
good.
like, when I was younger, I'm stoked that, like, I just had this drive to make the video, to skate my heart out without all the distractions of, shops or competition or even trend, just everything.
You were
like, I was just,
yeah.
It's just really for the love, man. Like, and I'm sure everyone, it almost sounds cliche these days to say, like, just have fun or whatever, but dude, like, I got no problem saying, like, that's really what it was about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, nothing else, man. Like I'll watch the videos I made, like, I watched VX Days the other night, and I was crying, dude. Like, I was just straight up crying because it was such a good time. It was so heavy. It's such a good feeling, and it had nothing to do with, like,
any of that other shit.
anything, man, other than the love. and the times, and that's why I was filming. You know, that's, man, if anything, the best times were just like getting home with like this full-on tape of just unedited, you know, just raw clips. And I used to like get home and I would just like, I'd put together these homie, like I had this like YouTube account where I would just like throw the day's footage. So I would just like disperse it to everyone. So it was the homie clips for sure, you know? But dude, and the crazy thing is, like, I still have all those homie clips, I think. But it was way better than the video actually was. It was just like, I remember I'd get home and like, I'd have like, you know, 6 people that we were hanging out with, all just waiting for it to come. And it would come like, I got really good at it. I would make these just homie clips like in 10 minutes. And I would stream it, put it out, and, you know, link it to everyone. Man, those were the best. That was the best part about making that video, was the homie clips as soon as we got home, you know. And then VXAs came out, and it was like, it was still fun. You know?
Yeah.
Well, those videos are definitely something that resonates and really sticks with you, and I don't know, like even like seeing like the videos now, and it's just all in your face and it happens, but there's no feeling in those videos. It's just trick.
Like, look how hard this big spin flip, front blunt, backside flip was.
But it's like in those videos, though, I mean, you can really see your artwork come out. You can see the feeling come out, and it truly is something that resonates and sticks with you, and it's something you can look back on years and years from now, and that same feeling's still going to be there. And to be honest, man, I really do feel like that's a big piece of something that's missing in skateboarding nowadays. And like, even going back into like some of the older pro videos, it's like you could see that, dude. It wasn't about the craziest shit. It was just that feel good feeling, like Trilogy and
those
videos
dudes
like
would
that.
go out and film. Like, I think Dill on 9 Club talks about it, where he's like, yeah, you know, we just meet up at the fucking spot and, you know, just film the tricks, you know, and like you get your friends and you get some beers, and it's just like it wasn't so normal, you know. They were like having fun and like hanging out with the homies and like, oh yeah, cool, we got a bunch of footage, like fucking throw it in there, you know, kind of deal. And that's like the basis of what it was, you know. It wasn't like this like, okay, we got to go here and we got fucking the cameras and the lights and all the things, you know. And it's like it's not as crazy. It wasn't as crazy as it is now.
And even in those old videos of yours, like the way you brought the people together, because I was kind of tripping out this morning when I was watching Flying Wheels, because like you could tell the people that you like normally would hang out with, and then like all of a sudden like Jerry had his clips in there, and it was just such a good mix of everybody that you wouldn't be expecting to see skating together, man. And like, I don't know, it made you really appreciate it a whole lot more, dude.
Word, yeah. Like, yeah, you know, it wasn't repping any shop or company or anything. It was just the love, and I'm super you know, I feel really grateful that like my love for filming brought it all together, and I'd like to see more of that, you know, like just put everything aside. And
it's so dumb, dude. Like, really?
Yeah, it gets old, man. And I'm telling you, when you get to my age,
I'm 30
it really doesn't matter.
I'm
Nothing matters, you know? Like, it's just...
I just, you know, because it's like in its foundation, it's like, you know, we all do it because we love it, you know. Like, if you're past the age of like 30 and you're still like skateboarding avidly, you care about skateboarding, like there's a reason why. And like when you get to that point, it's like you gotta, I sit back and I look like what's the thing that separates me from these people, you know? Like, why doesn't everybody get along sometimes, you know? And I don't think it has anything to really do with skateboarding. It's just, it's over really dumb shit, you know. And like, we just like,
that's what I'm saying.
Like,
yeah.
we gotta really like, we gotta realize like, look, dude, like I love all the, like, I have no problem with anybody, you know, like whether or not they like me or not. Like, if you skateboard and you love skateboarding, we have something in common, you know. Like we agree on that, you know, and we can put that shit away and we can go do this thing, you know, that's super fun. That's what it is. It's fun. And I think that it needs to happen. There needs to be a bridge gap at some point, you know, because there's such segregation. You know, that's a perfect word for it. It's a segregation of like, well, you don't fucking ride indies and you don't wear fucking, you don't do this and you don't do that. And it's like, who fucking cares? Like, I don't care.
So I think maybe I knew what I was about, but maybe subconsciously I wasn't. I think that's what I was going for with all my videos.
Yeah.
Is just put everything aside and let's just have some fun and do this, you know?
Yeah.
And you could really see that progression, like going from like flying wheels in the family tree, like it seems like you kept up that same motto and that same vibe, because like you introduced more people into that video.
Sure,
like
yeah.
Brent Tumbleson, like he came in, and of course,
yeah.
like Travis.
So the more I did it, the more people I met, and the broader, you know, just the whole everything got, and it just I had the same mission.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. And speaking of which, Brent.
Dude, that part was amazing.
Yeah, so when we filmed that, some of the most just amazing skateboarding I've ever
witnessed. Is that Popeyes? Oh my god. Okay, I'm listening, sorry.
No, yeah,
I got excited.
I'm just saying, when I filmed Brent, that was some of the most amazing skating I've seen just go down in that short period of time.
He was the first person I ever saw in Anchorage skate. Was Brent at Indo? Yeah.
I've known I remember Brent ever since back in the day. I never really knew him or hung out with him, but when I was filming that, he had lost both of his parents in the same year, and you know, I don't know what was going on in his head, but I was seeing how he was dealing with it, and it was through skating maybe, you know, and it was just so powerful, like insane. And so I felt like when I made his part, and you know, I just really wanted to pack it all in and try to give a good, you know, representation of what was happening. I don't know if I did or not, but I think it was like a 2-song part or something.
Yeah,
right?
It was good. It was.
Man, it was amazing.
It was, and then like even that the last scene, like what stood out to me the most in that part, what that really brought it all together was when he's skating away and you got all the cotton floating through the air.
Yeah, that was magic, man.
Dude, it was pure magic, and like
he did like a nollie 3-flip or something, cruising down the street or something. I don't even know what it was, but like, dude, that was crazy.
Yeah, like that part, like it was something like you could feel it, dude. Like one of those parts where it just like gives you the chills, and like, I mean,
yeah, for sure,
definitely magical. And
yeah, oh, it's heavy on me.
He was something else back then, man. Like I remember being at Indo, and I was like, I had my like second or third board I ever had, and I couldn't do anything. I could like 50-50 maybe, if that. And he was like so good back then that he was doing like nollie heel flip nose slides down the hubbas at Indo, and I was like, I don't even understand what the fuck you're doing right now. Like, and he was so cool to me back then, and I didn't skate with him until like 4 years later, you know. Like it was crazy. Like he was on another planet, you know. You talk about it, like, you know, with what he went through and stuff, you know, like that was his coping mechanism with skateboarding, you know. Like it gave him that.
For sure.
Yeah, that's so crazy.
And then coming out of that part, like going in that little part of Travis, dude, and I don't know what it is, man, but that Life Aquatic song, it set it off, man. That was good.
When Travis was super G. Yeah.
Travis is still G. He's awesome.
He's super ripped now.
Is he?
He's like working out a lot. Yeah. I mean, like, we barely talk, but like he's on the internet. He's fucking lifting heavy. Dude, yeah. Him and his wife.
Well, it's been a second, because I haven't been in touch with many people, but Travis is one of my best friends, and
he's getting yoked.
Is he?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, not like bodybuilder big, but he's like staying fit and stuff, and he rides bikes all the time. And,
makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like he's getting in shape.
Travis is one of the most amazing skateboarders I've ever witnessed as well, man. And I think the thing that turned me on, just, you know, if you're around Travis, it's like, man, he is really just not doing it for any other reason.
Because he
like,
just wants to skateboard.
Dude, yeah, and that's what's rad is, man, because it's gonna last, you know? You know, when you do it for no other reason other than the love, you're gonna find yourself at 43 skating. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's gonna be me for sure.
All right, well, I wish you luck.
I'm gonna try. Hey, I got good genes.
No, I know you do.
I got good genes.
Tim, you're one of the most amazing skaters I've ever witnessed.
I hope I get lucky and just that 43 can still skate.
So moving on from Family Tree, then obviously you got into VX Days, and I feel like that video really brought out this whole like next generation of skateboarders in Alaska. Like it was a completely different lineup than what we were used to seeing in the other videos. And
yeah, me too. I don't know how it happened, but it almost felt like I was experiencing skating for the first time all over. Like, this is what's up now. And, like, I remember the first day I met Nick and Travis. I mean, not Travis, but Nick and CJ.
Yeah.
They're just, like, doing these tricks that, like, I felt like I'd never even seen.
Yeah. And they're two such polar opposite skateboarders as far as the tricks they do, I feel.
Maybe style, but, like, man.
Like, Nick skates like Mach. Well, they both skate super fast, but like Nick had fucking crazy pop. Like he could do.
Well, it was just, you know, it was everyone. It was like, it was this next generation where I met them all at once. CJ, Nick, Jared, you know. And it was mind blowing. It was like they'd obviously been together and doing it, you know, for a long time. But it was like, for me, it was to witness it. It was completely new to me. I was like, holy crap! Like,
yeah,
this is what's up, you know. And that's where VX Days really started to take shape. Was where I was like, wow, like somehow I'm in the seat where I'm able to hang with these guys and film them, and you know, and we were building this. Just, I mean, they're family forever, you know. There was this love, and then, yeah, just every time we went out, I was just like, wow, like, how lucky am I to, you know, be the one to film it.
And I think a lot of these kids looked up to you. I mean, because it wasn't just like you guys would just be out skating. I mean, it was like they'd be at your house hanging out all the time. Like it was almost like your house was like a hub, dude.
No, yeah.
Like I'd roll up, you guys be playing
that's the
skate,
rad thing,
dude,
I think,
and
is that, like, you know, I met them and then they had already, I don't know, they'd watched videos I'd made or something, but
that's what happened to me.
Very flattering to be like, you know, here I am looking up to them, and there's like, dude.
I pay so close attention to skate history in Alaska that, like, before you messaged me and we talked about, like, you were like, you should come film and stuff. Like, I knew who you were, and I knew like what you had done. And so, like, Brandon Smith was like, dude, Ted Kim wants to fucking film you? Like, that's fucking crazy. And I was like, because he films, so he's a filmer.
I know Brandon. Yeah.
And so Brandon was like he was like, dude, you gotta do it. Like, and I was like, okay, like, I mean, it seems cool. Like, I want to go skate. Like, that would be tight, you know? It's just like, I think that it's like people's perception of like what you were doing, you know, like you think about it as like what, you know, the underlying reason of why you're filming these videos, and it's about this passion and this love for skateboarding, but like outwardly, you know, people like me, like I was like, oh yeah, like he's fucking filming these awesome videos, and like that's a Dewey Cox moment again. Like, I think I want me some of that. Like, you know, I was stoked because I didn't film anything for years before like that one video came out, and that was old footage. And I was like, I want to film again. Like, that'd be fun, you know.
Yeah, I don't know what to say. I mean, I'm stoked to hear that. Like,
it's like when you tell me, you've said it 3 times, you're like, dude, you can do every trick and all this shit. I don't think about myself like that, you know? Like, I just do it because I like skateboarding for the skateboarding part. Like, I don't look at it like I don't see myself in the same way. you know?
Man, to be honest, I feel like when I film, like I remember filming you, it's just like, I remember many times you'd be over it, and I was like, no, man, you can't be over it, because I know what you're capable of, you know? And it wasn't, I didn't feel like it was my job or duty to keep you going. It's just, I just believed in you, you know? And I think many times, like, I would be like, no, Tim, like, let's do this, and it would happen, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I need that push sometimes, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, Dylan does it to me all the time.
Well, I think a lot of times people worry about with the filmer, like, dude, I don't want to put you through this.
I
but
do.
Dude,
like, I worry.
well, I'm saying I have filmed so many times where I'm just like, you know, you may be over it, but I'm not. Like, I know you can do this, and like, I mean, selfishly, I want you to get it done so like you can see it happen. You know, like, but I want to film it. I want to show you. So
I think, like, you know, feel like a lot of skateboarders are fairly critical of themselves in that sense. You know, like, I'm really critical on myself. Like, when I watch a video part of the premiere, like, I'm just like, fuck, dude, like, I could have done this and I could have done this, you know? Like, you want it to be better. And it's like you're always trying to move forward in this aspect of your skateboarding. And so, like, sometimes it's good to, like, have people like you and Dylan, you know, in my, like, throughout my skateboarding, to be like, dude, you could do it, dude. Like, you need that push, you know?
Yeah, no,
And there's not really many filmers out there that, like, that have that patience, and like I think that was something that I definitely experienced with you, like when we went to that clock tower, man. It was like instantly, like, I knew that you were there to support me and like be there for me to land that trick. And like at first, like, I didn't get it the first few tries, and I was like, oh fuck, man, like, you know, what's he gonna think? And you know, I'm not banging this out quick enough. And then, but then it's like you were just like super positive about it, and like let's just try again, dude. And for me to get that nose manual knowledge, I feel it didn't happen right away. Like, I think we were there for a couple hours, man, and like, and when you find a filmer like that, like someone that's willing to like work with you and stick through it, man, it's like, I don't know, man. It
can make the difference.
It makes a huge difference, dude. And it's like, because they're just as passionate about getting that trick as you are. And it's like,
I know how it goes, because I've had people film me where I'm like, I'm on the other side, and I'm worried about.
You feel like you're I always felt like I was like, fuck, dude, we've been here for 2.5 hours, and I'm doing this fucking fakey flip on this stupid stair, and I can't fucking do it. I'm wasting their time. They've got shit to do. They're probably hungry.
I usually come with more sob story. I'm just like, come on, just hang with me for a second longer.
Yeah, you pity them a little bit.
I try not to give up.
So VX days, and you had the new crew and all that, and you said you brought Hup in to help with, like, you know, the editing as far as like the titles and stuff and that goes. And then I think like after VX days, like, you guys moved on, and I think y'all did, what was it, 1301?
1302.
1302. All right.
Yeah.
And
so
like
that was more where man, I'm a huge fan. Like, Hup is my favorite videographer by far. Like, no question. He just is just a magician with editing and filming. And I feel like we're on the same, just on the same kind of, you know, just vibe about what it's all about. And if anything, man, I look up to Hup so much. You know, I feel like everything I've done is crap until when I watch Hup stuff. And, you know, it's just like, so, you know, just got to it. Just fortunately, me and Hup, we were hanging out a lot, and a lot of mutual friends, and I don't know what it was. If it was like I don't want to say my drive was diminishing, but it was nice to just dump everything that I'd been filming onto Hup and let him edit.
It seems like you're definitely releasing the reins to him.
Yeah, as much as I love editing, dude, and as much as it at the time felt crucial that I need to be working on something, it just felt great to just give it to Hup and just be rest assured that like it would come
Trusted
out.
him. Yeah.
Oh, and also just I just knew it'd come out magic, you know. And 1302, it's funny because of anything I've worked on, 1302 is my favorite. and it wasn't even my work really, you know. It was just me
good,
filming.
man. It was short.
It's still your work. I mean, that's.
I know, but it's just Hup is just. I think Hup, which is weird, is like because he's so much younger than me, but I think he is doing what I've always aimed to do, and I think I almost feel like I never reached that kind of level.
You guys definitely do have a similar mentality about like how the activity is.
For sure.
You
I
know?
think we're on the same page, but I think Hup has mastered it. And like I never reached that point.
He has awoken as the
so
he's
like,
the grandmaster.
well, it's just, so 1302 was, man, I'm so just proud to be a part of it, you know. And then now I just watch Hup edits. And I haven't really thought of any other projects since then.
You still got your VX and stuff? You still
I
got a
do,
camera?
but it's more of a VCR now.
To play shit. Yeah,
It just rewinds tapes and logs footage. I think Evan actually has it right now for a couple months. He's just been messing with it. I don't even know if it's still alive. But
he's just filming the wall.
I will say that no, he's logging footage.
Yeah.
Basically, because if you buy a VX 1000, you don't want to ruin the heads, and so I was like, dude, just take my camera and just use it as you need to, and so that's what Evan's been doing, I think. But yeah, I just haven't really. I miss having a project to work on. I miss filming. I miss hanging. I just, other things happen in life, and I just.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on with me.
Your priorities can
I'm a little
change,
scared.
But, you can still, in the basis, have the same kind of fun. You don't have to grow up in that sense, but your priorities will change for sure.
I'm going to be honest, and it's sad, but, like, in the past years, I've been really content with just like setting up my iPhone and like filming homies with my iPhone.
No, it's still cool. I mean, it's still
cool. I mean, it gets what I want, but it's just different times, you know. I don't know.
Yeah.
Not to say, I mean, yeah, you know what I mean.
That's what you like. You know?
iPhone's kind of I don't know what's that saying. Rent monkey or it's just messing everything.
Give a monkey a wrench
or
whatever the.
It's just it's changing things.
So do you think anything else could happen in the future, or are you just gonna kind of just
I don't know.
You just over it?
I don't know. I've been like I've been painting a lot lately. Or maybe not so much, but
what are you painting with?
Brushes.
What do you use, acrylic?
Yeah.
I'm just curious because I used to paint acrylic on canvas when I was younger.
No. And it's not even so much that I've been painting so much. It's I think so I've been drawing a lot, and then I think lately I don't know. I kind of see this. I'm projecting into the near future of having all these paintings, and so I've been painting, but just not as much skateboarding.
Yeah.
Which is okay. Like I'm still like, when it's nice out, I go skate by myself more often.
I skate by myself a lot.
It's like
I'm not gonna lie.
I think it's more convenience because, like, I like Birchwood Park a lot.
Dude, that's my favorite.
Like, honestly,
place.
I love it, but I don't like skate. Like, I've never actually skated Birchwood with anyone else. I mean, I'll go with like my friend Danny Atkins or something,
I've skated with Danny. I skate with your brother actually.
Really?
Like
Well,
at Girdwood,
a lot of people.
him and Danny and and all those.
We'll go to
homies
Girdwood, right?
We'll go to Girdwood, and like, I can't remember homie's name, but he's like you're friends with him, but I always see them out there, and like I talk to your brother all the time, Steve.
Yeah, Steve.
Yeah. So
Steve.
yeah, and it's like it's fucking like. That's the best sessions because they're like, yeah, we're fucking in the mini room, fucking slash. They're like just skating to have fun, and like I have more fun skating with your brother and Danny and all those dudes like when I'm in Girdwood than any other time. And they always come so late that like they've got an hour and a half to skateboard. Like,
they got families.
Yeah, they got kids and shit. So. But it's fun to skate with those guys, man. It's rad.
They definitely, for those guys being that older group, like they definitely bring so much more stoke to the scene. Like I just met your brother this last summer, dude, at Birchwood Park. And
oh, really?
They
what? Really?
Yeah, like
Birchwood.
they like rolled up like in some van, dude, and jumped out, beers, all that shit, and like. I was like, oh,
dude,
like, I never met your brother, so I was like, oh
tight.
shit, it's Ted. Like I was like so pumped. I was like, Ted's here, dude, and I was like,
yeah,
man,
a lot
like,
of people think.
And
Steve
then you
is
realize
me.
Steve is a little bit taller.
I guess we look alike. I guess.
Yeah, man, but
A
like
little bit. I mean,
but I went and talked to him, and like those guys were just like they're super down and like open, and like, I mean, it was cool skating with those guys. I mean, it was just me at the park and those dudes, and then like it brought a whole different vibe to the skate park, man.
Dylan's a Birchwood local. He'll be there at fucking 9 a.m. waxing.
Oh, 9 a.m. because I'm there at 7 a.m. and I'm usually done by 9 a.m.
Are you serious?
I'm serious.
Dylan goes in the morning. He's like, "You better be at Birchwood at fucking 9."
Oh, that's so funny.
And then like he'll be there, and I'll be like, "Why is the ledge so fucking slick?"
Oh, funny.
He's the dude that waxed
me.
on the ledge.
It's my fault. I'm sorry.
So last summer, I work until 6 a.m. and then I'm just like, when I have the itch to go skate, I'm like, I get home and then I pack it up and I'm there at 7 a.m. skating, and usually I'm done by 9 a.m. But Birchwood it's so fun when
I think
it's just no one's there.
Oh, me and Dylan appreciate the fuck out of Birchwood when there's no one there.
It's
best.
funny, when Birchwood was made, I was like, this is not going to work. Like, I'm not down to skate here if there's even 3 kids. But that's why I'm there. Like,
you have to go there.
You skated Russian Jack?
Russian Jack. Yeah, well, I went there one time. But
that place is hell, dude.
As much as my dreams, I've always wanted to learn how to skate bowls. I tried once, or I went one morning, and I was like, Birchwood's just more my scene.
Yeah.
Like
Russian Jack is not a good representation of truly skating a bowl because it's so tight and it's so small. That's a figure 8 bowl. It's gnarly. It's like a clover leaf. So it's hard. That is like impressive, the dudes that can do the stuff that they do at Russian Jack, because it is hard to skate that bowl.
Sure. Well, I just know for myself I just can't do it. I don't know. Maybe I'll try again, but right now I'm excited for the snow to melt and go to Birchwood.
Yeah, I am too. Maybe we'll catch one of those early sessions.
Dude, we got to get a fucking propane tank and one of those flamethrowers.
Let's set up just one morning. Maybe you go a little earlier and meet me.
Yeah.
Let's hang out.
Because he gets off around the same time as you do. Like, you guys work similar shifts. Like, you guys could just fucking meet up at Birchwood.
I don't have to be there at 7 a.m. I can... I got time, but I do like to avoid homies or kids showing up.
Yeah.
I like Birchwood when it's just empty.
I try to go as late as possible because you can either go as early as possible and no one will be there, or you go like pretty late and no one will be there. But if you're anywhere on a good day in the middle of the day, it's game over.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm not trying to spend the time dodging.
Yeah, Russian Jack is like having like little kids tell you to shut the fuck up because it's their park. Like, I've had that happen. Like, this little kid.
I think I just in my older age, I just always been intimidated by crowds. It's like I don't want to mess with anyone's.
I don't like waiting longer than a minute and a half to drop in.
I don't have to. I like not having to worry about running into people or messing up someone's line.
I just want to do some laps. I just want to skate around in a circle. Like. Not worry about it.
So you've really been focusing on your art now, and like, of course, you got this good drink thing going on, and You're doing art shows, and it seems like your art has really picked up for you a lot recently, and like you seem to be doing pretty good for yourself with your art, man. Like, is this? I mean, I'm stoked on it, dude. And
I never knew that you drew until you had that show at you had a bunch of stuff on display at Middleway Cafe. And I was like, wait, what the fuck? And I was like, that's so intricate. Like, I had no idea.
Yeah, so I think I've always drawn just all my life. I just when I was 25, I went to that Alaska Bering Gap near.
Oh yeah, I know. They're the big gap.
Yeah, and so
on International.
I was at like the peak physical whatever. I was 25, and I was just felt like I was invincible, and I was already just really into just testing myself with gaps, huge gaps. The bigger, the better, you know. And just, I remember I landed it the first try. I ollied it, and then the whole reason why I wanted to backside 180 it, and then I know backside 180 used to be
Matt
my
Wild
deal.
took me there and tried to get me to do a trick down it.
I know I've gone there recently and been like, what was I thinking? Or it's a different time, but second try, I remember it was still good. I just didn't land it, and then third try, I like popped the tail and I just kicked the board away. And I remember just floating through the air, just thinking, I'm good, you know.
Yeah.
But as soon as I landed, I was just sideways, you know. And for anyone that wants to do huge gaps, do not land sideways. I didn't know that. And so as soon as my feet planted, I blew out my ACL. And so at 25, I felt like dude, I'm done with. And so I was really depressed at first. And again, I had been drawing all my life, but never really like focused on it. And so here I am just laid up with this blown out ACL, and I just really started to draw like crazy. Like for the first year, I just drew nonstop, like just crazy. And then my brother at the time was working at Snow City or something like that, and his girlfriend was working there or something, and they came by the apartment and they were like, dude, you gotta have an art show. And I was like, because my walls were just covered with everything that I'd been working on, and I was like, oh, okay. And so I had that art show, I remember, and like, I don't know, I think ever since then, I just kind of, I don't know, I just been drawing like nonstop.
Yeah.
Like a lot of things happened where I just, it wasn't about the art show, you know, at all. It was just, I think sharing it with people.
Was it about the creating? The aspect of creation?
I think it was dodging depression, you know, like
that was
like it was my coping mechanism. I wasn't drinking a lot or anything. I was just drawing, and then I just pretty much have been drawing ever since then. And then art is, you know, drawing is just it's like it's so crazy. It's just without trying, you just kind of you head in these different paths that you don't anticipate or anything. It just happened, you know. Just so here I am, like I don't know, 17 years later. Is it the math?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. It's hard to explain, but it's just I feel like I have to draw. Like when I don't, I feel almost depression coming on, and that like.
No, I can totally understand that.
But here's the other flip side: is like sometimes I draw so much that I feel like I'm going crazy, like because
you're like fucking.
It's a no-win situation. No, but it's done so much just for me. Like,
yeah,
it's not about art shows. And for a while, I felt really kind of insecure because I felt I was having like two art shows.
You're your own worst critic is the saying.
Well, I was having like 2 art shows a year, for a while, for a couple of years, and I just started to feel like, I don't know. I think a lot of distractions happen when you're doing something, and it's just I don't know what I'm trying to say, man. It's hard to talk about because I don't know why, but I feel like I have to draw.
Yeah, we can leave it at that for sure.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, that's like how I feel about skateboarding. Like, I don't know why. Like, sometimes I'll be at home. Like, last night, I was sitting there and I, like, put on Thrasher magazine. And I was, like, through the first, it was Yoshi Tenenbaum's new video part or whatever. And I was watching it and I just, like, fucking started to get, because I used to have anxiety growing up. And I got this, like, anxiety where I was like, I have to fucking skateboard. Like, I want to go skateboard so bad, and I don't know fucking why I want to. Like, it's just like this feeling. You have to do it. Like, and you can't explain. Like, it doesn't even matter. Like, you just want to do it so bad. And that's all that matters at that moment is this, you just, it's just what it is, you know? Like, I can totally understand what you're saying. Like, I don't understand why at my age I still do the same. I still feel the same way as I did when I was 16. Like, I'm like, I have to fucking do it. Like, I don't care what you say. I'm doing it.
For sure, yeah. And I'm stoked just because I think without drawing, I don't know, maybe I wouldn't have bounced out of this whole ACL thing.
And I feel like it's good to have that secondary outlet. So when I blew my knee out, like, all I knew was skateboarding, and so that ended up being like the hardest year and a half of my life. And just my number one focus went into drinking, and that was it, dude. Because I didn't have another outlet. I didn't know what else to do. Skateboarding's all I knew, and like to this day, dude, it's still like real rough for me because I'm never gonna be able to skate like I did before, and that's what I feel like getting into filming. I feel like that took a lot of that pressure off of me. Like, I don't know, was able to like ease my mind and my pain, I guess, dude, because I've never gotten it fixed, and to this day I'm still struggling having problems.
I feel your pain. Yeah, it's just I think it's you know, it's not something you would ever desire, but I think it's really important to just to roll with life and just like, you know, sure, I wish I had never hurt my ACL and gone on to San Francisco and kept filming and stuff. That's kind of what I was always dreaming of. But, you know, it's just so important to not let things, you know, you can't dwell on what could have been or other outcomes. It's just, you know, and I think that's what art did. It's just like it took my mind off of the pain, and here I am today. I'm super at peace with what happened, you know, and you know, it's kind of fucked up to say, but I'm kind of happy that I did blow out my knee. You know what I mean? Otherwise, I wouldn't have created the art. You know? Does that make sense?
Makes plenty of sense.
Yeah. So you can live in regret or dwell on the pain, but I don't think it's healthy. You know? And my shit is just really minute. It's, you know, everyone's got their own heavy shit to deal with. Did this just go dark?
No,
no, we're good, dude.
No,
this is.
It's a good. I feel like it's.
I felt like the lights dimmed. Right.
No, it's a good representation of you as a person. I feel like a lot of people don't understand each other, and like we're getting to understand you a little bit better. On
I like John's smile.
Well, John's got a great smile.
Right.
He's always happy.
That's
He's
good.
so happy. He's like a little, you know, the Ewoks in the Star Wars movie, the spinoff movie. They're so happy, little bears. You know, that's John. He's happy all the time.
So, but yeah, man. But good drink, man. Obviously, I mean, you got a huge following. I look at your Instagram page, and like, seems like you. I mean, really, dude, you're known like internationally, dude. There's like people in like Japan and China checking your shit out, dude. Like,
it's crazy. Like I said, I was slow with things, and like getting an iPhone was late, but I got one like 5 years ago, I think, and it was like iPhone 4, and honestly, it kind of like I was already doing this art, and it just kind of
You have 15.5 thousand followers.
I don't even know what that means, but
That's crazy.
I think overnight it was just really exciting for the art to just go outside of Anchorage. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so it's been exciting. Just online, I've met a lot of people that, I've sent art to every continent except for Antarctica. It's exciting to know that like people all over the world are just stoked on it, and I've sent art to Africa, Australia, just everywhere, and I'm stoked. Mostly that just, I don't know, just what I'm doing is people are feeling it, and to the point where they're throwing down some cash and, hanging it. I'll get these like pictures where they're like, look at, we framed your stuff. Man, I don't even know. Flattered isn't even the word.
Humbled,
sure. I don't even know truly what that means, but
well, it's like, I don't know.
I'm stoked, It's something that I was just doing to deal with my own insanity. People are feeling, and like, yeah, the whole iPhone, Instagram, and everything, I think made it possible, because sure, I was sharing stuff on Facebook, but that's kind of Anchorage based,
Yeah.
And so Instagram really just reached out to everyone internationally, and it just, without even trying, like I was like, oh, Instagram's cool, because I was kind of over Facebook, just because was kind of over it. And then like, so I like switched to Instagram, and Instagram turned me on because it was just like, oh, you just share a picture, you don't have to whatever. And then just overnight it just the numbers just kept, just people just, I don't know what happened. All these like art galleries on Instagram started sharing my stuff, and it would just share and just branch out. And
so without even trying,
it was just like, without even trying it, like not even know how it works or what I was in for. You know what I mean? I had no idea. Like I was like, dude. At first I was like, yeah, like sharing it with my friends. Like, look, I drew this picture last night.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, it's like people in Russia, it's like,
we love your picture, Ted.
Yeah, so
very good.
So I'm stoked, it's a good feeling to, I don't know that like people in England
are stoked
are
on
feeling
your shit,
something, like just, I don't know, it's just crazy. I'm stoked.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
So what's next for Good Drink? You got any plans there? Skateboard company?
No, I think that's more of just like this, not a joke, but I just like when I post things that say
It's
Good
not a
Drink
joke.
Skateboarding, it has nothing to do with actually having a company. It's just like,
yeah.
I don't know. I think it reflects just my attitude and just whatever, but
yeah.
It's more just like, nah, I'm not trying to. I don't know though. I don't know what's gonna happen. But I just feel like I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing, and who knows?
Yeah. You never know.
Where did Good Drink come from anyway, dude? I got to know that.
Yeah,
part,
that's
so.
a good. So a long time ago, I was watching Repo Man, the original Repo Man with Emilio Estevez, and like, if you watch that movie, like he'll go in like a grocery store and like everything was just like really generic. Everything would say like beans. A can of beans would just say beans, just like
it was white and black.
Yeah, just exactly.
Yeah.
And so like I was watching that.
I remember that movie.
And then also at the same time, I had a friend that was working for Red Bull, and like he almost died from. He was a distributor. And he almost died from drinking it because he was drinking like 3 to 4 every day. Like his stomach got like a ulcer or something.
You can get heart palpitations, like arrhythmia, cardiac arrhythmia, from drinking too much niacin.
Okay,
and
I believe
too much
it.
of the caffeine. Yeah.
And I don't know the details about him almost dying, but I just I know
wouldn't be
he
surprised.
got like an ulcer and he basically quit working for Red Bull. But around, you know, just everything came together where I was like, I thought about how Red Bull just all of a sudden just came in and just was huge, you know. And so I drew this comic. My friend had this punk scene called AK Inc. And she was like, do you want to draw a comic strip for it or something? And I was like, I would love to. And so I just came up with this just kind of freestyle, you know, just like I just drew this comic strip, and it was, and I still have it. It's just like where, you know, the first frame was like this businessman coming up with this idea, and it would go through, and it was like the idea was presented, it was hyped, everyone loved it. Someone got hooked, almost died, or actually did die. They actually did die in my comic strip. And then the last frame was like the businessman coming up with another idea, you know. And
Well,
so
that was a success. Let's
and
come
so-
up with another one.
yeah. And so in the comic strip, Good Drink was the name. It was the Red Bull,
Of the drink.
right?
Yeah.
So ever since then, it's just like I've been drawing all these pictures, and it's all been based around this idea that like Good Drink is this corporation that grew so huge that like it basically just effed everything for the world. Like it just destroyed all humanity. And so every picture I draw is like humanity versus Good Drink. So it's kind of like this fight against this corporation that destroyed everything, and so Good Drink's actually evil.
Yeah. No, for sure.
Because-
It's killing people.
Because yeah, no, so
What's our demographic? 9 to 13.
so those cans
Kill
and
'em
everything. It's just a story I have in my head.
No, that's super cool. That's a good story.
I like seeing those cans too. It's almost seems like it's subliminal in like some of your artwork, and you see the mystery can laying there.
Word.
He's just chilling over here. He's just.
Yeah.
He's always there watching. Good Drink is always watching.
Yeah, so that's where the whole idea came in. I've just been doing it for the past 2 decades.
That's what's up. Well, man, we definitely, I don't know, man. We best wishes for you and everything you're doing, man. Like, super stoked to see you're still doing your artwork, and like would love to see you put out another video. Like, hopefully, maybe that will fall into place again someday. Until
Can I say real quick though, like, you know the Lusac Library?
Yeah.
They have the Wilda Marston Theater there. I don't know if they still do because they've gone through some renovations.
Well, they
But-
redid the upper level
Okay.
of the library. I believe.
So the Wilda Marston's still there?
Yeah.
And I don't know what their deal is lately, but like the reason why I had 3 premieres there is that it's this amazing resource for the community. They were only charging me like $200 for 4 hours rental, and it seats like 220 people. If in my idea, when you have a small venue like that, I mean 220 is still a lot, but when you have a smaller kind of setup, man, it's rad to just pack it. You know what I mean? And on top of just being everything that you need, really, you have a projection booth, you have the coolest security ever. They let you just do your thing.
Yeah.
The seating is rad. You know, everything's cool. All for like $200. You know what I mean? So
That's
it's
a good
just,
price.
I think it's just I can't recall any other premieres going down there, but that's where, ever since I first figured out, like with Flying Wheels, I premiered it there. There was no question. I'm like, let's go back to Wilda
The
Marston.
only other premiere that's ever happened there that I've been to was a Think video.
Oh, true.
Premiered,
Totally,
there.
totally. And you know what? Jesse actually hit me up. Like, I was helping him out, like setting it up because he knew that I'd been doing them there. But yeah, it's just it's such a rad resource, and it kind of goes unheard of. You know, like I think.
Yeah, because
I don't know if you ever have a video, dude, for dirt cheap. And and when you do it for dirt cheap, you can only charge, like I was charging $5 just to get in, and you still make money because you times $5 by 220, it takes care of a lot of expenses, without even trying. And it's just a rad spot. Everything you need.
No, I had fun at that premiere at the Think Tank premiere.
Yeah,
for sure. I went to a couple premieres there actually. I can remember, and Wendy Williamson. That was the other place that people would do their premieres. Matt did a lot of his premieres there.
Wendy's is huge though.
Yeah, it's huge.
I think it seats a couple thousand or something.
Yeah, they actually are like comparable. They're a little bit more expensive than Lusac, but it's still like if you're not paying $2,000, you're like that's. $200, dude. That's easy to do.
That's what I'm saying.
You could panhandle this weekend to get $200.
That's what I'm saying.
It is nice seeing that place packed out. I was actually front row during your VX Days premiere.
Yeah, Brian Adams took a great photo of it, and I remember you're like right in the front.
Dude, I was so bummed out too because like I had like the worst migraine like when I went to that premiere, and like you could see me in the front row, and I'm like, duh. I look like so bummed out, dude. And I just had the worst headache.
That was the 40 that Dylan drank. He's just he had Mickey's that night.
But yeah, I guess I just want to say it's a great thing there. So if you guys are ever,
there's some kids right now that are in the snowboard game, and I don't know these kids by name. They added me on Instagram, but they're making a video, these young kids. And I'm like super excited about it because they're like 13, 14, 15, 16, they're young. And they're fucking, the shit they do on Instagram is amazing. Like the tricks they're doing, and they're like, we're filming each other and all this stuff. And I'm like, man, I wish those kids the best. If you know who I'm talking about, if you follow the podcast, if you've watched this shit and you know who you are, like good on you, man, because that's like cool to fucking watch. To see young kids going after it and like having fun with their friends, like
word. And now they know where to premiere their video.
Yeah, now they know. Do it there.
Word. Well, thanks so much for having me on.
What's going to be find on Instagram?
Oh yeah, you guys are trying to hit up Ted and check out his Instagram. Good drink. It's pretty dope. I think. I don't think you got a personal Instagram, do you? It's mainly just a Good Drink page.
Yeah, I've reduced it to just that.
So yeah, check that out, and but yeah, man, we're stoked to have you on, and I hope we can have you on again here.
Cool, thanks, Dylan.
Thank you. Now, I think one lesson to be learned coming out of this episode, guys, is like, I mean, really, it's about having fun. It's about getting out there with your friends, filming and skating, and it's like, all this bullshit going on in Alaska on the scene. Everybody wants to be segregated. Like it's all got to stop, guys.
Do what you want to do.
Let's skate, man. Let's have fun. Let's forget about whatever we're thinking about. I mean, because it doesn't matter. What matters is that we're having fun skating, and let's just get out there, have fun, guys. So
because deep down inside, none of us can hit the mega ramp, so we all share that in common.
I've wondered, would I try? Would you try?
I actually,
I'd early grab the fuck out of it.
One of my relatives, he's in a wheelchair because he got shrapnel in his head overseas in the military, right? He lives with that guy Darwin Holmes, or he lived with him at one point, the guy who jumped the mega ramp in his wheelchair.
Oh, yeah?
And I talked to that dude on the phone, and he's friends with Bob Burnquist, and he was like, yeah, if you ever come to Las Vegas, we could go up there. And I was like, I don't know what the fuck I would do at the mega ramp. Like,
I think the drop-in is the gnarliest.
Dude, I've dropped in on snowboard jumps that are as big as that, but like on a skateboard, that's a whole nother level.
I almost feel like I think it's early grab and just do whatever happens and you just fall down the tranny, but like the drop in, I don't know if I could like
dude,
bomb
Heath
down
Kirchhoff
that.
Broke his fucking wrist or whatever.
Yeah,
or broke his arm and like still did it. Like he didn't even fall that hard. It's like so much energy.
Either way, I'm never gonna try.
Dude, I'll tell you what. I will give you the rest of my trust fund if you early grab the mega ramp.
Jesus,
you can have it. You earned it.
No thanks.
Trust funds.
Trust funds.
All right, guys. We'll wrap this up.
Word.
All right. Thanks again, Ted, for coming on. We appreciate you. And like I said, let's just get you back on here in the future. And we're going to be taking a little break from the podcast. Tim's taking a little vacation there. So I think we're going to take a couple weeks off, but we will be back. So
going to Mexico.
All right, y'all. Thank you for listening.
Way up north.